Welcome, my good people. Welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop. Here, with my main man, Willie Jack. And right now, man, week 3 is in the books. Willie Jack, how you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. So a lot of good games this week, man. A lot of interesting outcomes in some of these games, man. I'm finna get back in my bag though, man. I done eased up on y'all in this weekly pickle, man. But I'm finna get back on my grind, man. So y'all hope y'all had fun while that lasted.
Yeah, you done eased up on us, all right, man. Eased up on us, all right, man.
For sure.
Speaking of easing up on us, man. Right now, the standings as we speak for the Let the Film Speak weekly pick'em. We got Jarrell. He's hanging in, man, hanging in there, man, holding on to his first place spot right now, man, with 28 wins on the season. Coming in second, we got Jared right behind him at 26. And then we got Willie and Miles. They tied for third with 25. I ain't gonna tell you where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? Because that ain't none of y'all business. You know what I'm saying? That ain't none of y'all business. But that's the standards as we speak. But as I said before, man, it's a long season. You know what I'm saying? A long season. We got a lot of other stuff we need to get on. A lot more games coming up. So, hey, y'all just better protect your leads. That's all I'm gonna say. Because your boy, hey, it's only a matter of time when I'm gonna start hitting them crazy games on y'all, and y'all gonna be in trouble. So, you know, so just to put that out there, man, y'all better beware, be looking out for your boy.
Yeah. All right? Hey, shout out to my mama, man. The first one in the group, first one on the chat today, man. What's going on, mama? Appreciate you.
She is. She first one in the building, man. She representing, man. Mom's holding it down. That's her baby. That's my baby. That's her baby, man. But yeah, man. Of course, y'all know what time it is, man. It's Wednesday night, so you know this is the night we recap all games, man. We run through the Sunday and the Monday slate of games. Of course, we got a Thursday night preview. We got an extra preview for y'all tonight, man, because we got the London games. The London games, they start 8:30 a.m. Central Time on Sunday morning. So, of course, we got to preview that because we'll be live at 10 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what time it is. We'll be chopping Willie in the morning. It'll be Sunday live going on in the morning. That game will be going on. I'll probably provide y'all with some live updates of what's going on with that. So, you know, but before that, we got to give y'all a preview because we got to give y'all the picks. You know what I'm saying? How we going to pick the game and the game going on? That ain't fair, is it? You know? So, we're going to give y'all that pick tonight. But without further ado, Willie Jack, I feel like it's time to go ahead and jump right on into it, man. We're going to start it off with the bangers, man. We're going to start it off with one outcome that me and Willie Jack, we both didn't expect, man. We had Buffalo. They went to Miami. Miami ended up winning this game 21-19. Willie Jack, what you got for me?
Man, this game for me, man, this is a Miami, of course, won the game. But honestly, I'm not worried at all. You know what I'm saying? Now, y'all already know how I feel about Big Josh, man. It's still Big Josh league. You know what I'm saying? But players mess up. You know what I'm saying? But before we even get to that, the key thing that if I'm Buffalo, or if I'm Buffalo or a Buffalo fan, I'm not really so much as worried. And if I'm Miami, I feel good about the win. Of course, well, you feel good about just about any win. I don't feel great about it though, because Buffalo was so depleted on. They had missing players and key pieces, especially on that defense. The entire secondary of that defense was made up of guys drafted. Well, they had Kyrie Elam, and then the other 3 guys were drafted in the 6th round, and none of those guys have been in the league for more than a year. You know what I'm saying? And so you've got that. And then also just as many times as Buffalo shot themselves in the foot, and then even yet and still, they're still in position. They probably should have won this game if not for one that just Big Josh puts in the dirt. And so, like I said, if you're Miami, I can't feel great about that win. And it also lets me know that if I'm a Buffalo fan, that I'm shaking this off. This ain't holding me back at all. We still going to the top. We still going to the ship because they caught us on what could arguably have been our very worst day, and they got by with 2 points. Mind you, we controlled the ball for damn near 58 or 60 minutes. Big Josh put up almost 450 yards of offense. But like I said, it wasn't enough. Shout out to Miami for capitalizing those. Miami did make great plays in key moments. The early strip sack on Josh Allen, right there in favorable position. Of course, the missed throw on 4th and goal. It should have been just a 5-yard easy dump off completion for him for a touchdown. Instead, and honestly, man, even looking at that, he rushes it. He sees it is open. He's not set. His legs are kind of too wide and extended. He just doesn't get anything on that ball. And normally, and I'm sure what he's used to with that big ass arm, those little bitty flicks, he could throw those little bitty flicks before 40-yard passes. Well, here he couldn't get it 6 yards. You know what I mean? Just didn't have anything on it, puts it in the dirt, and honestly, it came back to bite him. But Biggest thing for me, man, is sky's definitely not falling in Buffalo. This is still, if not the second best team in the league still. And like I said, I'm not worried about this at all. I seen this last year, Chop, when Bill Belichick and them threw 2 passes to beat them, and then Big Josh spanked their ass the next 2 times. He's seen them, one of them in the playoffs. And so, like I said, Miami ain't got, but Buffalo's not worried about Miami at all after this.
Gotcha. And I'm not worried either, Willie Jack. I'm not gonna sit here and overreact and say, oh, Buffalo's in trouble, or Big Josh Allen, man, he's falling off. No, I'm not gonna overreact. Everybody has to come back down to earth. You know what I'm saying? And the Buffalo Bills were operating at a high level. And I said that in the pregame, they were operating at a level that not many other teams were touching. I think only the Eagles, I think, were touching about the level of play as far as like the level of like perfection and dominance that those teams were playing with those first 2 weeks. So I'm with you on that one. But I got some interesting stats for you. I'm gonna read out some numbers. I think you pretty much summed the game up pretty good, Jax. Willie Jack. So I'm gonna come up with. I got some numbers I came up with, man, that will explain to you why we like the show. Again, let the film speak. I made a post earlier this week too, man, with Jalen Ramsey talking about the Super Bowl play. I hope y'all got a chance to check that out. But this is why we let the film speak, because we can read off numbers all day long, but the numbers don't tell the entire story. Here's the numbers I have. Buffalo, time of possession, 40 minutes to Miami's 19. Yeah, Buffalo had 90 offensive plays.
Bro, that's wild.
Miami had 39. Josh Allen threw the ball 63 times in this particular game. Okay. And then when we talk about efficiency, this is what I mean when I say quarterbacks are efficient or they aren't efficient. And their offense just altogether wasn't efficient this game. You know what I'm saying? And just for the people who don't know, efficient is making the most of your opportunities with minimum opportunities. Buffalo had a whole bunch of opportunities. They had the ball for a long time, but it only resulted in 19 points. You know what I'm saying? So the opportunities were there. But kudos to Miami's defense. I felt like watching this game, Josh Allen was scrambling every single play. You know what I'm saying? I just ran off. He threw the ball 63 times. And of those 63 times, he was scrambling left to right all game long. They did a good job of covering those receivers. Xavier Howard and those corners and those safeties did a good job of covering those receivers for as long as they had to. And they came ready to go, man. I give this game and this win to that Miami defense, man. Kudos to them. They played a really good game. And, yeah, man, they looking pretty solid this particular season. So
no, for sure. And I wish if you was gonna mention it, not so I didn't, but I want to bring it up as well. What are your thoughts on the play with?
You know what? That was the other thing. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll still toss it to you. So tell me what you think about that play with Isaiah McKenzie throwing on the ball. He catches it short of the first, and he's in inbounds, and then he's running towards the sideline. Then and then he makes the decision, cut back versus just keep going outside. And he, of course, decides to cut back. When you saw that, what was your thoughts? Like, where do you land on that? Because I've heard both sides. I've heard people say he wasn't gonna make it anyway. I've heard people say, I've heard both sides. Where do you fall on that?
See, I thought you was going a different direction, and
okay.
I'm gonna go that direction anyway because I really want to talk about this. I think it's important. But for that one, I say in that particular situation, it's tough. It's tough because it goes back to what I was saying originally. Josh Allen had to scramble a lot on that play just to get that ball off. You know what I'm saying? He get the ball off. He's running to the sideline. At that point in time, you trying to use your internal clock, but after so long, your internal clock you can't rely on it anymore. So in that sense, I'd rather him just been safe and just went on head out. But I can't really blame him for it either. You know what I'm saying? Well, I can't put that on him because, like I said, the play was longer than your average play anyway. Josh Allen had to do a couple things just to get him to rock, and then, that's just what happened. You know what I mean? So I'm not blaming it on him. It just is what it is. Like I said, but your internal clock, when you're in the midst of playing, if a play isn't normal, if a play starts to break down, it's hard to still keep that internal clock, and that's just the way it falls. So maybe my instincts, because of how long the play was, or maybe it seemed, I maybe would have just went ahead and went out of bounds, but I don't blame him at the same time either.
Well, no, see, that's where I land on it. I think you got to put it completely on McKenzie, because just like you said, now even when he gets tackled in bounds, I mean, it's 10 seconds left, but that wasn't enough time to get everybody back to
not at all.
Exactly.
Not at all.
But this is the thing, because we know we don't have any timeouts. We can be assured that in that huddle, after whatever play was called, after whatever kill was called, after anything was said, before everybody left the huddle, everybody said either get down immediately or get out of bounds. There's no in between. And so when he catches that ball, he can make it out of bounds. And especially being that there was 10 seconds left, because he gets tackled in bounds with 10, you got to go out of bounds. Because, yeah, I think he let his reactions take over. Guys coming, maybe I can make a miss. You're fighting over 2 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if he even actually did kind of slip that guy, but then it gives Melvin Ingram time to chase him down from behind and tackle him in bounds. And then you look like a fool, you know what I'm saying, trying to hurry up and bring the ball. Like, no, get what's there and get right out of bounds. And so for me, that's an obvious just mental blunder for McKenzie. You know what I'm saying? Because just like you said, the fact that Josh even got the ball off, because like you said, credit to Miami's defense, they was on Josh ass all day. You know what I'm saying? And a credit to Big Josh, he stood there and did what he had to do, man, and made a lot of plays with his legs. He almost 50 yards on 6 or 7 carries or something like that. And like I said, 400 total passing yards, but he had to earn all of them. You know what I mean? So because Miami, like I said, they play very well, especially in the key moments, but you've got to get out of bounds right there. You've got to get out of bounds. And like I said, I don't know how he can explain that.
Like, see, that raises the other question too. The other question to that problem is, to that scenario is, do you throw the ball over the middle of the field? If I'm Josh Allen, you know what I'm saying? He probably hit him in between the hashes. You know what I'm saying? After he's done all the scrambling and stuff like that. Do you not try and throw that ball away? You know what I'm saying? Or what do you make that throw?
Well, I think he has, because you can't take the sack. No, you got to make that throw because you can't take the sack. So the sack,
you can't take the sack. But do you try to get rid of the ball once you've been scrambling for so long? Do you make a throw over the middle of the field?
No, because I don't think he had time to look over the middle. Because just like you said, he was running for his life, and so I'm looking for the first blue jersey I see, or whatever my color is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the jerseys they had on, they may have been in their white tops. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm looking for the first Buffalo helmet I see. You know what I'm saying? Because we already, just like you said, time's already running down. I'm already 3 seconds into a play. You know what I'm saying? And the average time to release the ball for most quarterbacks is 2.5 seconds or just less than 2.5. So it's already an extended play. You know, it's bodies flying around you everywhere. So I don't think he would have had time to pat the ball and reset and really get his eyes anywhere. It's like, man, I got to find the closest guy I can get away from, or I can get it to, because I can't take a sack. And then when he dumps it off, McKenzie can make the sideline. Honestly, he juked the man trying to get another 1.5 yards, and it cost them an opportunity one more time. But like I said, when the game plays out the way it does, there's mistakes made all over the place. So it's, it's hard to just put all the blame on McKenzie, especially there, because then they still have to. Let's say he gets out of bounds, and now realistic. It was 10 seconds when he got tackled. Let's say if he kept going out of bounds, they got 9 seconds down on the clock. Well, 10 seconds may be 2 plays if it's an incomplete pass or a pass that gets out of bounds, because the average play, just using averages, the average play is about 6 seconds, 5-6 seconds. So 10 seconds with a stoppage of time is enough for 2 plays. And so, you know what I mean? And I don't know where they would have put in relation to field goal range, or maybe a hefty field goal either way, but you still have a chance, and you don't necessarily end the game on a low IQ play.
Yeah, got you. Feel you on that.
Yeah.
All right, Willie Jack, man. Let's move on to the next one, man. Another one. And this is one of the first games I said was a dark alley game. Dark alley game for Indianapolis in this game, as KC goes there to face off against them. And the Indianapolis Colts needed this game. I coming into this game with the way that the Colts have been playing so far this season, I thought it was no way they was gonna win this game, but they end up pulling it off, and they win this game 20-17. All right. And first, I'll say this, and actually, oh man, I wish I'd have went back on the other subject. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it later. But the Colts defense frustrated the Chiefs offense. You know what I'm saying? And you've seen it in the discussion. I don't know if everybody got a chance to see the discussion, but it was Mahomes and Bieniemy. You know what I'm saying? It's towards the end of the first half. Mahomes,
as they're walking into that locker room,
Mahomes wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? And Bieniemy was kind of like, all right, no, let's throttle down. And you can read his lips and say, man, we good. Trying to let Mahomes know. And Mahomes like, nah, we ain't good. We need to go. When we need to try to put up some more points, or try to at least try to score. You know what I'm saying? We in a position to where we can still hold this ball and not allow the Colts another chance before the half. Let's go ahead and do that. And Bieniemy, for some reason, decided not to. All right. Now, in that particular situation, I side on the side of Mahomes. I'm on Mahomes' side. Go for it. You got arguably the best quarterback in the league. Why am I sitting on the ball at half? I don't care how bad the first half was for whoever, and it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he was just turning the ball over left and right. No, you go for it. Let's go for it. Let's try to put up some points before this half. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't, oh well. I know our kicker's hurt, but at least give up the kicker that we got a shot. Maybe he luckily gets that kick in. He gets that kick in. We're looking at an overtime game versus a game that we lose in fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? If that happens. So they frustrated the Chiefs offense, man. They weren't as sharp. The run game was awful, you know what I'm saying, for the Chiefs, and they just couldn't get it done. Colts, on the other hand, man, they didn't play a flawless game as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to act like they played flawless to get this W. They didn't. You know what I'm saying? The offense looked a little bit better with Pittman back, you know, so I give them that. But they didn't look flawless. But all in all, they did enough to win this game, to pull it out. Matt Ryan made the throws when he needed to make the throws. And yeah, man, I had to give it to the Colts, man. I didn't expect them to come away with this W. They came away with it, and they still have life, sitting at 1-1-1.
Hey, man, this season, man, has been ugly like that, man. A lot of ugly records, a lot of unexpected losses. But to summarize what you said on the game, so here's my thoughts on what happened with Patty and Bieniemy. Well, for one, you never anticipate to see that type of outburst or that type of open dissension on like championship caliber teams. Like normally, you know what I mean, when you've been to the top, or like, you know what I mean, normally you just know how to hold it in and y'all bang in the locker room, but you don't air the dirty laundry like that. They had a full-fledged shouting match right there on live TV. But I think I can see, and I'm not going to defend, I'm not necessarily trying to defend Eric Bieniemy, but I think I can see probably his thinking. In his mind, he's like, it hasn't been a clean half. We're clearly the superior team. And so, okay, go ahead, chalk it. Let's come out, let's go reset, and then come out and roll them. You know what I mean? Like, let's you know what I'm saying? Let's just go ahead and just call it. And like I said, come out, because, you know, hindsight, of course, but going into that half, they'd had to have felt like, okay, we just got to get out our own way. Let's come out and put 30 on these boys. You know what I mean? And I think probably that's Bieniemy's mindset. But if I'm Pat and like you being a player, when you're a player, nah, man, we had what they were around midfield roughly. And you know what I'm saying?
Close enough, yeah. And they had a decent amount of time left.
Exactly. So it's roughly midfield. There's a little time to play with there, and like you said, you got arguably the best quarterback in the game. You know what I'm saying? So like, what am I? I'm not Chase Daniels. Boy, you don't send me in a halftime early. You let me air this thing out. You know what I'm saying? So I get Patty's side and I get the player side. But yeah, now personally, what I would like to see, I'm just like you. If I got one of them ones, man, y'all know I say this all the time. If I got one of them ones, man, I'm putting it in his hands. He's got it. So we got 50 seconds left, man. We on the 45, the minus 45-yard line. Shit, that's enough time for Patty to get something cracking.
Yeah. And for me, it's the attitude of, we good. That's a complacent attitude. We're an attacking team. We attack on offense. We coming at you. You know what I'm saying? Full throttle from start to finish of this game. Let's do that. Let's continue to be who we are. That's our identity. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what happens in that moment? And like I said, that could have changed the game. But you never get complacent especially if you're that type of team. You got to attack and keep attacking. You know, so
yeah.
There goes that. Now I do got something else on that, Willie Jack. Got something else. There was a comment. That kind of made me think. It rose my eyebrow a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Rose my eyebrow. LaShawn McCoy.
Oh, there you go. I meant to bring it up too. There you go. Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy. You know what I'm saying? He came out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna see if I can find exactly what he said, because I don't want to quote him wrong. You know what I'm saying? But he came out with a comment, you know, on about Eric Bieniemy. You know what I'm saying? And he pretty much was saying that in so many words. And if you come across the comment and know exactly what it said, help me out, Willie Jack.
I was about to say, if you want me to say it, I take the hit, because I said I butcher it. He basically said Eric Bieniemy don't know nothing.
It says all Bieniemy does is argue with players, knows nothing about passing or play calling. That's from Shady McCoy himself. You know what I'm saying? That is what he said. A player that actually played for him. I'm gonna say this about that. And I got a question about it, really, because to me, a player that's played for you that I don't know that has I wouldn't say has anything against him. He can say a lot, and it can mean a lot. For me, it helped me understand, and I want to know if you feel the same way too. Why he may not have had or gotten a head coaching job just yet.
And you know, and that's exactly what I thought. Like, it's one thing to hear, you know what I'm saying, what's the right word? Like the reputation or the word rumbling around the campfire about Bieniemy and his prowess as a coach or his viability as a head coach. But everything else to this point for me was just conjecture. It was just sideline hating. I just thought they was hating on Bieniemy. I don't know. But then when you come out and have a player come out so strongly, I guess, against your, like I said, coaching prowess and viability as a coach and your knowledge of football, like that right there is a way more serious indictment for me against anything else that's came out about Bieniemy. I'm not trying to hear about his past, his criminal record, because if we don't bring this stuff up for every coach candidate, then I don't want to hear about it for Bieniemy, regardless of how good, bad, or otherwise it may be. If we don't bring it out for Brandon Staley or for whoever else, and I'm not saying Brandon Staley has some type of dirty past, but I'm just saying, if it's not made front street, whatever somebody else had going on, I don't want to hear about it from Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? So I never gave it much credence. But like you said, when you hear a player come out so strongly against your prowess as a coach, then it does trigger some bells. The only counter to that would be like is Shady McCoy, LaShawn McCoy, is he a little jaded or a little turned off because maybe he didn't appreciate his usage in Kansas City? Because I remember when that was a thing as well, where Shady wanted more touches or wanted more playing time and really was an afterthought and was just a guy on the roster. Yeah. And so that could also leave and if he charges that to Eric Bieniemy who was a former NFL running back, former college running back, came over as a running backs coach and then offensive coordinator. And so maybe if he held that or gave that charge to Bieniemy, then maybe he is spurned or a little bitter or a little jaded, and then maybe it's not so much warranted. But like I said, outside of that, man, that's an incredible indictment against the coach, man, to be made public like that. And honestly, man, against another brother, man, I can't not say it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure Shady, because Shady in his platform, I Am Athlete, which he does with the guys he does it with, they've talked and discussed, the I guess the issues surrounding minority hires or minorities in key and high positions in the coaching hierarchy, etc. I feel comfortable in saying that I know LaShawn McCoy is in favor of more coaches of color and people of color being in predominant or forefront positions in the league. So I know he's on board with all that. And so knowing that, or feeling comfortable to say that I feel like I feel that I can speak for him and that he is supportive of that movement or whatever the case. Right. And now to hear him come out and publicly tear it down, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, another brother, it goes to show like, hey man, maybe it is what it is. Like maybe, you know what I'm saying? Because I caught myself. I don't want this to be misconstrued as I want a black guy to get a job regardless if he's qualified or not. That's not what it's about. But too many black guys aren't even getting looked at, and for what we can tell, they're qualified. So that's what I'm saying. So if he's not good enough, he's not good enough. But that's what I'm saying. So the point being that for LaShawn McCoy to be a proponent of minority hirings, and then to come out so strongly against a minority candidate who's been in the news for several years, trying to get that job, man, that says a lot.
Gotcha. All in all, man, to put a ball on it, man, Coach up in there coming away with a very, very good win, a much needed win, and winning that game 2017. Day one game, that's what you call him, Willie Jack.
Day one game, Jarrell in the building.
Jarrell is in the building. Jarrell, what's going on with you, bro? We just finished up talking about the Chiefs and KC. You only missed one game, man. You good to go, man.
Hey, y'all know what I tell y'all anyway, man. You ain't never late, man. It's just like church, bro. Better late than never. It don't mean nothing. Come in, sit down. We ain't gonna do nothing but pass the plate right back around anyway, bro. So you right in time.
And at the end of the day, we on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be there. You know what I mean? You miss anything, it's gonna be there. Don't even sweat it. For sure. Don't even worry about that. But on to the next game, Willie Jack.
Wait. My bad. What's up, real quick, man. I just want to shout out a guy, man. I didn't do much on the game. I think you covered the game pretty well. My dog Tom in the building as well, man. What's going on with you, bro? Appreciate you. But want to give a shout out, man, to the rookie tight end from the Colts, man, Jelani Woods. Ball, man. 2 touchdowns. He had another deep contested catch I want to say on the left sideline or something like that, man. So rookie out of Virginia, low round prospect guy, height, speed prospect. Forgive me, can't talk. But no, showed up and showed out, man. So shout out to you, man. Just want to shout out, you know what I'm saying, these guys that don't come in necessarily with the same fanfare representation, but he's doing his thing, man. So shout out to you, man. Give you your flies right there. You ball, man. You deserve it.
For sure. On to the next game, Willie Jack. We had Baltimore go to New England, man, and they win this game 37-26. They put up 37 on them boys, man. I didn't expect that one, but what was your thoughts on this game, Willie?
Man, this is why I wanted to talk about this with Chop, because I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You know, I got to give it to him, man. To this point, man, MVP Lamar is back, and he's back with a vengeance. You know what I'm saying? MVP Lamar, man. We got Big Josh, we got Patty Cakes, we got MVP Lamar. I got to give that man his respect. You know what I'm saying? And not that I didn't respect him. He was MVP. And then he fell back a little bit. And now it's time to get paid. And that boy came out there and making sure ain't nobody got no questions or no concerns about him or his money. And he out there doing the damn thing, man. So 5 total touchdowns, 4 in the air, 1 on the ground. I don't know the yardage. I think it's passing yardage. Was it like 2 and change? I want to say passing yardage wise. I want to say it was like 2 and change, but another 100 on the ground as well. And honestly, playing phenomenal ball. He did throw, I think, an interception this game. I think he had another pass that honestly probably should have been intercepted, but only one interception hit the stat sheet. And just, man, he's been damn Superman, bro. It looks like anything he wants to do on the field, man. It looks like he really can. So now he's playing super well. So I just want to shout him out, man. He plays for the Ravens, the Purple Pigeons, the Purple Birds. You know what I'm saying? So I don't always like doing this, but I want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, that I shouted out Lamar for how he's playing. And I mean, 3 games into the season, man, that's the MVP of the league. But not yet. Now that I got that out the way, man. Go ahead, man. What you got in this?
For sure. And I'm with you on that, man. And just to run it off, man, he just became the first player with at least 3 passing touchdowns and 100 rush yards in consecutive games. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, to add to that, he's balling. But going more into the game, man, more than just Lamar, the Lamar Andrews connection is working. You know, he threw 2 touchdowns to Andrews on this particular day. And that defense played well and helped out. You know what I'm saying? Now, they did give up 23 or 26 points to the Patriots, but they forced 4 turnovers and had 3 sacks in this particular game. So they were definitely doing what they were supposed to do. And this is the type of game where, like, the Patriots were forced to try to make plays, push the ball downfield, but that's not their style of play. So when you see them do things like this, that means they're going to have they went away from the run game, and there's probably going to be some turnovers because Mac Jones trying to keep up with another high-powered offense that's going to cause them to make mistakes. The Patriots like to play games where they can play it safe on offense. You know, so take it easy, play it cool. If they're able to do that and play against teams that's not as high-powered on offense and their defense can hold it down, they can put them in a lot of different games and they can be successful. But that wasn't the team today. They was playing against, you know what I'm saying, Baltimore, and well, actually, what you gonna say, LJ and them. You know what I'm saying?
LJ and them. Hey, that's Lamar and them for sure. That's playing against Lamar and them, bro.
Playing against LJ and them, man. And they the high-powered offense, which had to force their hand to do more on offense, or try to do more on offense, which caused them to have turnovers. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I looked at the game and why it came out the way that it did. And Baltimore came away with another big W, man, winning this one 37-26, man. 37.
No, exactly right, man. And just kind of piggybacking on what you said, man, just like you said, the turnover plays and the turnover-worthy plays from Mac Jones, man, that's exactly, I guess, the whole ordeal about him possibly being the first quarterback who was drafted ahead of Trey Lance, being the perfect fit for Bill and the Patriots, was that he's not a guy who makes, like, frivolous plays like that. He's a guy that's going to color inside the lines, be on time, and play within the structure. And then I guess in this game, and him being a little injured and beat up, a little hobbled, he actually made a couple little plays with his legs. Now, you know what I'm saying? He found a way to squeak through on a couple, pick up a couple third downs, made a couple moves. He got a handoff or a pitch on the goal line play and got in for a touchdown. But like you said, man, finished with 3 interceptions. I think another pass or maybe 2 that also could have been intercepted. So, like I said, just not his cleanest performance. And 1 or 2 of those interceptions definitely were extremely I think 2 of them were in the red zone. One of them for sure was intercepted in the end zone for sure. I think 2 of them may have been intercepted either in the red zone or in the end zone itself.
Yeah.
But like I said, so when you turn the ball over there, there's points coming off the boards, 3s or 7s, either way. But yeah, no, big day from Mark Andrews, man, came out. I think he finished with 2 touchdowns. Man, the catch from Devin Duvernay went over top dude in the right corner of the end zone.
Man, we seeing some catches this year, man.
Hey, man, boy went and got it, boy. Hey, boy went and got it. So
we seeing some catches.
Man, oh yeah, for sure. We got a couple comments, man. Jarrell, man, day one game, Jarrell in the building, man. He said that boy talking about MVP Lamar, he finna reset the damn market. Hey, bold predictions, baby. Hey, I've been called that one, man. He ain't signing this year, and then he gonna come back and bust some boys clean over the head. And so yeah, for sure,
he gonna make them wish they had paid him.
Oh, hey, you see what my dog Tom said? Tom said 300 mil guaranteed. Woo. And I'm gonna tell you. What's Deshaun's guarantee? 253?
Something like that.
I think it's like 253 fully guaranteed. So that ain't out the question. That ain't crazy at all. That's not crazy. 300 guaranteed ain't crazy at all, Tom. It ain't crazy at all, Tom. Hey, you heard what Tom said? Hey, God did. Hey, they didn't want to pay. Hey, they didn't want to pay. They didn't want you to get. They didn't want you to win. They didn't want you to get paid. Hey, God did. And it's coming. You know what I mean? So that's a good comment there, man. I want to shout out the game.
For sure. Keeping it moving, Willie Jack, man. Let's go on to the next game, man.
Hey, what's good? Oh, my bad, man. We got a couple folks that's on the Instagram. Duke that slid on the Instagram, man. What's going on, gang? Man, get your ass on the YouTube, man. Come check out the new crib, too, matter of fact. Come on with it.
Yeah, man. Tell them boys come on over. What they doing over there, man?
Yeah.
Next game, man. Let's go over to Chicago, Willie Jack. We got Houston. They go to Chicago to take on the Bears. Bears end up coming away with this W 23-20. Lovie Smith makes his return to Chicago as a head coach to play his former team, and he came up short. You know what I'm saying? Came up short. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say this first, man. Chicago's defense in their run game really, really took over this game. And the first name I'm going to name is Willie Jack boy, Roquan Smith, man. Hey. That boy had a game. 16 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. One of the key pass deflection of the game, you know what I'm saying, that sealed the deal. You know what I'm saying? Had a wonderful game, great game, and he just out there balling. You know what I'm saying?
He had an interception as well. And he had an interception. Or am I tripping? I thought he had an interception.
He deflected for somebody else to get the interception.
Is that what? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if he necessarily got the interception. I don't know. You might be right about that, Willie Jack. You might be right. Hold on, you know what? He did get the interception. I'm sorry. He got that interception. But yeah.
Hey, that boy nice, man.
A great game. Willie Jack been talking about him for a few years, man. That boy nice, man. And he out there balling. He wanted to get traded. They ain't trade him, but he said, you know what? I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to play some ball. And he played some ball today. Went ahead and got them boys a W. Now Chicago, you know what I'm saying, out of nowhere is sitting at 2-1. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that they're a great team or anything, but they sitting at 2-1 right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's where they sitting there. And then for the Bears, another thing, Montgomery got hurt in this game, but Herbert ran that ball really, really well, man. He ran for 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Bears ran overall for 281 yards this game. So they just ran up and down the field on Houston, man. And Houston couldn't do anything. Hey, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, Tom, but your boys was looking silly out there. It was a close game, but they
and you see what Tom said. Tom already looking ahead in the draft, man. He said he wants CJ Stroud, and I hope y'all get him too, boy. Boy coming out of Ohio State this year, man. So he gonna be nice for sure. So I ain't mad at that at all. But no, man, I think Chop the game pretty good. Now here's the thing I will say though. I think that Justin Herbert didn't look good this game, man. He didn't look good. I mean, now he got bailed out by a lot of plays with the legs, and the run game did good. Khalil Herbert, that's the guy who deserves a shout out as well, man. So he flashed a little bit last year, I want to say, in spot duty for David Montgomery, and he has some pretty strong runs on Sunday as well, man. So he definitely played really well, and I think like you were saying with Montgomery getting a little banged up, man. So curious to see like how he moves going forward, getting the bulk of those carries now, if not all those carries, depending on what happens with Montgomery. But no, just like you said, man, strong performance from that defense. And man, but they've got to figure something out, man. They've got to get some style of efficiency or something from Justin in the passing game. Like I said, man, if they hope to get anything else going, it's just bad.
That the offensive line is terrible, and 2, he only threw 17 passes this game. They're not even pass. They weren't even trying to pass the ball. They was like, look, man, we finna run this.
Yeah, no, and that's fair, But like I said, man, some of those 17 boy just made me just.
No, I get you. I get you. I feel you. Yeah, no, he definitely needs to show some improvement. And the same thing with Houston too, man. I know they were trying to see exactly what Davis Mills is. Davis Mills gonna have to play better, man. If he wants to hang around, he got to step it up, man. He got to play better.
For sure.
Got to play better.
Yeah.
On to the next game, Willie Jack. We had another dark alley game, man. Two teams came into this game 0-2. And somebody's had to go. You know what I'm saying? We had Las Vegas.
Somebody had to go the other way, though.
Yeah, the other way. So they came into this game, man. Las Vegas, they go to Tennessee, man. And the Titans surprised you, man. They come away with this W. They win this game 24-22. What was your take on this one, Willie?
So this one for me, man. It's time. Fire alarms are ringing in Las Vegas. This offense is way too talented. Josh McDaniels, for all the faults or whatever people have said about him in his past coaching stint, trying to be Baby Bill, you know what I'm saying, going all in on Tebow. You know, we know everything that's going, bailing on the coach job and then coming back to, you know what I mean? So we know everything's going on. But one thing that generally hadn't been in question was his proficiency as an offensive mind, as an offensive play caller, as a guy that can construct offenses and make things happen and scheme up things to get nameless guys in New England open that nobody's heard about, you know what I mean, until they play in that system. So I don't see what I'm trying to, like, I'm waiting to see his imprint, like his effect on this offense with the weapons they've got. Like, bro, you can line these weapons up against damn near anybody, any offense in the league, and they're gonna be chosen or highly regarded as just about anybody. You've got Devontae Adams, depending on who you ask, the best receiver in football. You've got Darren Waller, depending on who you ask, the top 3 tight end in the league. You've got Lil Bro. You got Hunter Renfrow. Like, now he's not necessarily maybe a name everywhere you go, but the ones who know will tell you. Ask Derwin James about that boy. He ain't no encyclopedia salesman.
And on that topic, Willie Jack, on that topic, of those 3 guys you named, in this game, which one of those guys had 8 catches for 158 yards and a touchdown? Man,
none of them. Mac Hollins. Who? Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins goes down and goes crazy. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm waiting to see it. Like, man, like you got all these weapons, all these shiny toys, all these guys, and honestly, Derek Carr. This is another game as well where and he looks sometimes he'll go 2 or 3 plays or 2 or 3 throws where it's okay. He's getting back to the guy that I'm ready to see, you know what I mean? Like a guy that's a very viable starter in this league. But it's those stretches of consistency are fewer and far in between. And more often than not, I feel like I'm watching him make boneheaded throws or hold on to the ball too long or maybe not see or recognize a blitz or pressure that was coming right in his face. Like the interception he threw in the end zone when he was trying to force it to, he threw it right he was trying to, I don't know if that was to Adams or if it was to Waller that were like right underneath the goalpost, but he throws an interception there. Meanwhile,
Waller, and I think one of them balls went right through Waller's hands.
Okay, no, there's one that went through Waller's hands. That's fair, okay. But there's one that he threw. I could have sworn I thought it got intercepted right there on the goal line, but I'm thinking like, well, there was somebody squirting out in the flat anyway that he didn't even look on the right side of the field and tries to force one in the middle. I thought that got intercepted, unless I'm tripping. I thought that got intercepted. Or maybe he got lucky and it wasn't intercepted. They ended up taking the 3 or something.
I know they did get an interception on that goal line though, for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. And so that was a forced throw. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a bad decision. I thought he was trying to force it to Adams on that one I'm thinking about. It
could have been multiple. Yeah. I know that for one for sure. Later in the game went right through Wallace.
Oh, you know, there's one that went right through Wallace's hands for sure. But
I was kind of wondering when I seen it too. Did he throw it too hard or what? What was going on? But go ahead.
But it's just that. So I'm just still waiting to see. You know, like I want to see Josh McDaniels. There's definitely something like I want to see what's going on, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, where's all the genius now? Where's it at? You were a guy that was in the conversation with Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. He was in that conversation. Sean Payton, Andy Reid. You know what I mean? When guys talked about offensive, you know, masterminds or guys near the head of the league, you would say those 3-4 names. But then Josh McDaniels, just a short while ago, was also a guy held in that regard. And so I'm waiting to see that. And then, like I said, Derek Carr, man, I almost feel like he's, and this is just me completely speculating. I don't know Derek Carr from a can of paint. It almost feels like he knows that he's expected to be lighting it up because he knows he has these weapons. And I think he's so eager to just go out there and light it up. I think he's forcing it a lot of the times. I don't think he's not necessarily always taking what's there. And sometimes, like you said, he's anxious to make a big splash play because, man, I got Devontae Adams. I got my homeboy out here. I was talking to him for 2 years trying to steal for Green Bay, promising him I'm going to throw him 30 touchdowns a year. Man, you just got to get here, big dog. I got you. I'm just going to air that thing out to you, boy. And now we out here and y'all looking foolish. Or you looking, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to see what's going on with these Raiders, man. But it definitely looks like they're destined for the bottom of that division. The way it's looking now, they need a serious pivot come before the midpoint of this season if they're gonna have a chance to salvage.
For sure. And Jarrell said this one hurt, and yeah, this one hurt me too. Jarrell, I feel the same way you feel. And the thing with them two, man, it's the connection, Willie Jack. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I got a feeling, man, that Adam's sitting at the crib right now. He at home. They just got done watching film. He by himself. He with his wife. He like, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. You know what I'm saying? The grass ain't always greener on the other side.
I was sitting
over there. I had one of the GOATs. I had Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? But everything ain't panning out. And it was a couple plays that I saw, man, that made me really know. I was like, that connection ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to have a connection in college. That's cool. You going against college talent. This one, you going against some top guys. So your connection needs to be different. That back shoulder ball is not there. Not the same way. That was automatic with him and Rodgers. It was like, it didn't matter if off the line of scrimmage, Aaron Rodgers I got the back shoulder ball. And you seen it. It was one of the throws where Derek Carr tried to lead him when the cornerback was on top of Adams. That was perfect opportunity for a back shoulder ball. Catch the ball round around the 5-yard line. They got 4 plays to punch it in. You know what I'm saying? It's those type of plays. It's that type of connection that made Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams special. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't the same now, man. Everybody is not Burrow and Chase. You know what I'm saying? Their connection from college that translates to NFL. Everybody's not, you know what I'm saying? Some of the other connections that we've seen where they go get the guy that they had in college. It ain't the same.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, now, in fairness to Burrow and Chase, they had just played together like a year and a half ago. It's been about 10 years for Devontae and Derek Carr, so they probably need a little time. Right. But I think they can get it. I think they can, but yeah, it is going to take. I mean, that's just reps and getting back into it.
So they need to develop their communication, man. Yeah. And Adams is probably over there like, dang, man, he ain't as good as Aaron Rodgers.
Oh man, yeah, he tried to hold his dog. He said, I'm going for one Hall of Famer to him. Like, all right,
all right, boy.
Hold your boy down.
But before I jump out of this one though, Willie Jack, I do want to give some kudos to the Tennessee Titans, man. Tannehill did play a solid game. It looks like I'm starting to worry about you a little bit, Willie Jack, because it's starting to look like Derrick Henry is starting to get in rhythm. If he starts to get in rhythm,
Brett, did he have 100 yards? Did I miss it?
No, he
had a 100-yard day.
He had a solid day, 85.
No, it was solid. I mean, it was a solid day. It was a solid day.
It takes a while. It takes a while for him to get rolling. I'm just saying. He looked better, and he's starting to get his legs under him. That's all I'm saying.
He did definitely run pretty good today. And that's the thing about today. Today could have been a 200-yard day. I feel like he went like it was some of those plays where he gets tackled after like an 8 or a 12-yard run, and the contact that brought him down was like, man, come on, you got. I felt like he was a couple almost those shoestrings that got him a little bit. And then, oh man, did you see him on the screen pass? It took the boy 3 seconds to catch that screen pass. And then he turned around. He still ran for about 15 yards, though. But, yeah, I was watching him. It looked like he had it in his hands. And I don't know if he was trying to spin it around.
Yeah, he was bobbling and everything, man. Yeah. He had a lot going on.
But yeah, it's going to be a long, hard road, man. Like I said, the things that I saw coming for this team is still correct. But it's going to be a long, hard. This is going to be the hardest thousand he had in the league if he get to it, boy.
For sure.
It's looking rough.
On to the next one, Willie Jack. I'm going to go to Minnesota on this one, man. I'm going to go to Detroit at Minnesota. Minnesota actually came away with this W. I mean, you both picked this game, man, and had that feeling. They win this game 28-24, okay? Yeah. And Minnesota started off running the ball well. I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all was paying attention to Chop Willie in the morning. I told y'all Dalvin Cook was going to have a game, and he got hurt, though. But I'm going to let y'all know. He had 96 yards and a touchdown when he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So he was well on his way, you know what I'm saying, to hopefully getting to where I told y'all he was going to be. But all in all, man, Cousins cleaned up his game from last week from that horrible game against the Eagles on Monday Night Football. He cleaned that up. Justin Jefferson is still struggling a little bit, man. So I expect him to get back. I'm not too worried about him. It's just 2 games. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too worried about it. He does have a tough matchup coming up this week against the number 1 corner and Marshawn Lattimore. So I want to see that matchup. And for Detroit, man, it's like we always say, they still tough. The offense is still playing well. Swift did get injured. Jamal Williams ran pretty well. But Detroit had the opportunities and they didn't convert, man. They didn't make it happen. And then my last point on this particular game, man, Jeffrey Okudah, man, he's starting to come around, dog. He playing some good ball.
And good for him. And good for him as well. Because I think when he was coming out the draft a couple years ago, I think I was higher on him than you were coming in. I don't think you was a Okudah fan when he was coming out.
I was higher on him than you was. Because I had him as my number 1. I think you had him at like 2 or 3. Something like that. Okay,
you might be right. I remember that he was a guy that we differed on. So you probably right there. And so I was gonna say it was looking like one of us was right for what this is 3rd or 4th year now. Right. Now he did get caught up with some injuries and etc. But no, man, 3 games into the season, he's playing very well. All right, especially if you look at the advanced metrics and whatnot as far as his targets against top receivers, etc. I'll tell you what, statistically he's probably playing better than All-Pro AJ Terrell is to this point in the season.
Oh, he definitely is.
You know what I'm saying? And so no, definitely kudos to him, man, for a guy that was highly touted, came out of Ohio State, was arguably the number 1, number 2 corner in that corner class. I want to say 3 years ago. I'm trying to think who else came in. That was a good class if I remember right. I'm trying to think who else was in his class with him. I think it was another guy's pretty stud guy. But anyway, but no, this for me, much like our day 1 game, Jarrell just said, man, the Lions let them down. And I feel the same way. I think this game was there for the Lions to take and win. And they really, I think it almost feels like kind of they didn't necessarily capitalize on the shortcomings or failures of Minnesota. And then also, like I said, it just feels like this one just kind of slid away. And they couldn't do, and they just, like I said, just slid away and they let it go. But like I said, kudos to Minnesota. I think you pretty much discussed the game, man. It was a good day for Dalvin Cook before he got banged up again. Matheson, the backup, comes in and gets himself a touchdown. And he's looked good before in spot duty for Cook as well. And so he's another guy, man, that he's a very solid number 2. And so now he's not going to be Dalvin, but he's still a competent number 2. And then we had a good question, man, from day 1 game, Jarrell. He said, in regards to Justin Jefferson, is he struggling or is he getting locked up? Now, these questions can be one and the same because if you're getting locked up, you're struggling. but I think more so what it is, I do think that defenses are definitely playing him different. And also, we got to keep in mind, it is also a different and a new scheme he's in as well. He's now trying to replicate Cooper Kupp for this offense that's came over. So now he's also being asked to do things different than I guess what he had been doing to this point in his career. So there's a little bit of that. And then also, like I said, now defenses are, like I said, that he probably is getting well, I don't know. I don't want to say that he wasn't getting attention before, because I know Adam Thielen went demanding no coverage last year. And so honestly, I think it's just much like I said about like Josh Allen to start the show. I'm not worried about it because the cream rises to the top. This is a guy. This is a dude. This is if you still ask me, this is the most talented receiver in the game for me, is just, or the most complete receiver in football for me is Justin Jefferson. I think he's got enough of everything, and I don't see any real deficiencies. And so I just think, hey, sometimes guys got your number. Darius Slay with the Philly, I think that one feels a little different because that one was more so traditional. There was more one-on-ones there. So I don't think like Okudah specifically locked him up. I think Okudah had 2 or 3 reps on him. I think in the stats where they say he was
I feel like Justin Jefferson didn't get locked up against the Eagles. I feel like Kirk Cousins was playing terrible. He was bad at throws, and it was just Darius Slay locked up Kirk Cousins more than he locked up Jefferson, because Jefferson had some separation on.
And that's a good point as well. There were some instances where he had separation, and Kirk did play terrible that game, and especially some terrible throws. Like 2 of those picks because Slay got 2 picks while covering Jefferson. They were terribly thrown balls, especially the second one that was in the end zone. It was a terrible ball, but I'm not worried, man. I think this is more so them just kind of going back to the drawing board, smoothing things out. I still expect them to touch 1,400 receiving yards this year, and that's with these 2 games now where he hasn't touched 50 yards. So that lets you know what I feel.
I'm gonna tell you one other thing that I heard when you was talking, Willie Jack. is that he tried to replicate Cooper Kupp. And
I'm saying, like, I don't like because
his own. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie because you reminded me last week that's the new offense that they, or maybe it's 2 weeks ago when he went off, and you reminded us that this is Cooper Kupp's offense, and so in seeing that, because honestly, just like Jarrell, man, I just want to see my dog get off. So I'm like, man, what's going on with my dog, man? Yeah. And so I'm thinking about it. I'm like, well, it's a new system. You know what I'm saying? And like, if for better or for worse, you know what I'm saying? It is something new. He's been asked to do something new. And then also, like you said, so coming off the strength of the 2 performances he's had, I mean, defenses are actively working to stop this guy. You know what I'm saying? And so the sledding is going to get rougher. But no, I still think, man, ain't nobody picking.
I don't know if we ever had back-to-back triple crown. We might see it this year.
And it ain't.
You know what I'm saying?
It ain't.
Hey, from the looks of it, you better watch out, bro. Better watch out. Yeah. Nah, man. But on to the next game, Willie Jack. Let's go to New York, man, where Cincinnati goes. And they had a dark alley game, man, where they were backs against the wall. They needed to fight their way out. Luckily, they got a Jets team, man, and they end up pulling this out, and they win this game 27-12. Willie Jack, what was your take on this one?
Yeah, I'll be short and sweet on this one, man. Just like you said, this was a must-have game for Cincinnati because they had dropped 2 games they probably should have won, and so now you get a Jets team that's coming in. They were coming in off a very big and emotional come from behind win against the Ravens themselves. But so if you're Cincinnati, you were on alert because for one, you can't go 0-3. You can't go down 0-3, especially not a team that was in this in the Super Bowl just this last year, and a team that still thinks they're still that team that can get there again. So you absolutely cannot go 0-3, and you definitely can't drop this game to the Jets. And then the Jets, for them, man, they just kind of fell back to earth. You know what I'm saying? So last week was lightning in the bottle, but the Jets are still the Jets. And so, like I said, Cincinnati came out, and I'm trying to think if anything particularly stood out to me in this one, but nothing really did. So it just happened as it was. It was just a game for Cincinnati to shake that O, to kind of get themselves like, okay, hey, we got that first one out the way, and now let's get ready to rock and roll because they got a real test coming up on Thursday.
For sure. And I agree with you on everything that you said, Willie Jack. For the most part, man, they needed the game. They came back, they bounced back, and they did what they need to do. I still want to see a little bit more from Joe Mixon. You know what I'm saying? He didn't run the ball as well as he probably wanted to, but I didn't necessarily expect him to this particular game because of the defense in New York Jets. Now, they're not no slouch, especially up front when you're talking about the run game. You know, and the overall defense is not terrible either, but, you know, they did what they needed to do. They came back and won this particular game, you know. So kudos to Cincinnati for getting back on the right track, man. And like I said, they came away with the W. On to the next one, Willie Jack. We had New Orleans going to Carolina Panthers, man. And they lose this game 22-14. Willie, what's up, man? What happened? What's going on?
Well, first thing, and shout out to our dog, man, Anthony. Man, you gotta change your damn YouTube, man. Miles got to change. Miles got this damn code word YouTube name, Ant Kind. Sound like a damn Raid commercial, like killing bugs or something. Ant Kind. Miles, Anthony Connor, our dog, man. He wanted to give a shout out to Samaje Perine making a statement. I think he's talking about the game we just got off of, man. The Jets and Bengals game, man. So is that the right Perine? Samaje Perine? That's his name, right? Okay, yeah. So, but shout out to him, man. I didn't want to let that go unaddressed. But no, for them, what I say is my dog Chris McCaffrey, man, got over 100 yards. So I was happy to see that. Got over 100 yards. Another game that he got out of healthy. He's still not being used or being asked to do the things that we know he's capable of doing, like especially in the passing game. I think he had 25 carries or 20, somewhere around 25 carries, 25.
He had 25 carries.
Okay, yeah, so 25 carries, a little over 100 yards. I think he only had 2-3 catches, though. You know what I'm saying? And I think, these are the talks that were coming out of Carolina leading into the season anyway, was that it was going to be a concerted effort to kind of gauge how they're using them and to make sure because they want them to play more than 6 games. You know, then you want to see him get back to playing a full season. But yeah, no, if he's taking 25 carry loads, then that tells me 20. That's a grown man workload. You know what I'm saying? 25 just straight carries. Now, I think you maximize what he does best. Take 5 of those carries away and give him, and I want him to get 5 of those touches in space with the ball getting tossed to his hands, lining up, split out, or either way. and like I said, and just fully capitalizing on the things that he can do. But if you're Carolina, man, you get a win. One you had to have. Has been a lot of ugly ball for Carolina, and also you get a win, a division win as well, which is big and which is key. And so, big win for Carolina. If you're the Saints, man, I think you're really, and we expected this for sure, but not having Sean Payton really just shows how ordinary this offense really just showed. I'm really seeing, and I hate to just put it on Michael Thomas, because I still remember all the talk when Michael Thomas caught 149 slants for 1,200 yards and had boys thinking he was the second coming of, you name them, T.O. and Jerry Rice combined. And now, but with the best receiver on that team, or the most productive receiver, is your boy Suave Olave. Suave Olave getting off. He's the only guy that's getting separation. Juice Landry, man, his legs is looking a little shy, but he's always been a guy that's gonna be grimy. He's grimy, man. He's gonna do all his work 8 to 12 yards from the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? So we already know kind of the limitations of what he can provide. But Mike Thomas, he's a guy that's in, for a lot of people, are held in that high tier 1 regard, to where we need you to get busy, big dog. And 5 for 50 or 5 for 50 yards, 5 for 56 yards, whatever the case. And then what was this game last week against AJ Terrell? He did have a touchdown in one-on-one coverage in the goal line area against Terrell, but still not a tremendously productive, I guess, day as far as just yardage or stats is concerned. And so, like I said, man, you just need more. Jameis is still is pressing, but there's just I'm not going to excuse, I guess, the turnover worthy play of Jameis Winston, but I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of those plays where nobody's open. Nobody's getting open. Nobody's getting separation. There is no dynamicism in that offense. There's nothing that you see in that offense that feels like, oh man, look at that, man. Where they everything is it just feels routine. And like I said, but these are the things that we should have expected when Sean Payton stepped away. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, the Saints with that high powered defense, the offense, they're definitely gonna have to carry a lot more of this load than probably I wanted them to start this season. I was hoping that offense will look a little better than it does, but it's troubles in paradise, and not in paradise, but it's troubles in NOLA for sure.
Yeah. When your offense is terrible, man, your defense gets worse, because if you're turning the ball over consistently, man, then that means that the other team has the ball more. They get more opportunities to score points, and that's just the name of the deal.
I'm a living testament of that. It's my Steelers, bro. My Steelers play 80 snaps a game. On average, our defense plays 80 snaps a game. Remember, we just talked about the time discrepancy between Buffalo and Minnesota, where Buffalo had 90 snaps to their 839 in the Buffalo-Miami game? Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh's defense averages 80 snaps. So that's week in, week out for us. And so I lived that, man. And just like you said, there's only so much the defense can do, man, because after a while, these guys get tired, man. These guys wear down as well. And then the second half of these games, man, things get away from you when your defense is tired. So that's a very good point.
For sure. My guy, Brother Red, stepped in, man. He says, my guy Baker is finito. He's looking more and more like a backup, man. And why is the Carolina coach running McCaffrey up the good 3 times at the goal line? Hey, I'm not sure. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was hoping that McCaffrey does his thing where he jumps over the pile. You know what I'm saying? Because McCaffrey can do that. He can do that. But as far as moving people or running through somebody, if you're talking about all those big boys at the goal line, then you asking for that's a little bit more. It's a little bit tougher for a guy like McCaffrey versus some of your bigger backs in the league, like your Chubbs and your the guys that can run that goal line, your Zekes, your Ezekiel Elliott's. You know what I'm saying? Those type of guys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you on that one. And he says, Olave drops the ball too much. I'm not sure. I don't know how many drops he has. Maybe I have to look into that. But as for other than that, man, he's getting open. He's
and that's what I was gonna say, man. And just like Chop, I haven't seen when I'm watching the game, I don't know what his tally drops are on the season. So he may be right. I don't know. I mean, we're only 3 games in, so I would hope he's got less than 3 drops, because you shouldn't average a drop a game. You know what I mean? So if he's got 3 drops in 3 games, that's a lot. You know what I mean? That is. I don't know what that number is, but that hasn't jumped out to me so much as I just like Chop said, he's the only guy I see getting separation, and he's getting it down the field, which is good to see as well, because it makes me feel good about and it probably Chop as well, because that is one of the things we talked about on his film coming in, is that this is a guy that he runs. He's looking smooth. He's faster than I thought he was when I seen him play time versus on the field. But he's a guy that separates downfield and it's carried over to the league. But yeah, he's the only guy I'm seeing getting separation. But now I'm gonna have to pay attention to see if he's got the dropsies because I hadn't caught that. For sure. And shout out to No Vulture, the podcast in the building, man. Brother Red, our dog, man. It's another guy, man. That's day one gang right there.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack, man. I think it's about that time, man. It's about time for us to pay some bills.
And you know that. Hey, today's episode of Let the Phil Speak is brought to you by your dogs, man. Your dogs, the old faithful OG number uno ain't never went nowhere, man. That's the Three Amigos, man. That's like, that's share, that's subscribe to Three Amigos. The 3-piece spicy is 3 the hard way. Now, we tell y'all every week, man, y'all should be saying it with me. It's a 4-part process, Willie. It's a 4-part process. First, tap in with the Three Amigos, man. Like, share, subscribe. Do your due diligence, man. Be respectful. Wipe the feet off before you come in my house. Number 2, tell a friend, man. It ain't no fun if everybody don't get none. You got to like, share, subscribe. Then you got to tell a friend. Then you got to tell a friend to tell his friend. And tell your friend's friend to tell his partner as well to bring everybody down. Come here and kick with your dogs and let the film speak, man. Holla at your dogs. We appreciate the love as always. And now back to the regularly scheduled programming.
Man. We had Jacksonville. They go to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, man, and they come away with the upset, winning this game 38-10. Willie Jack, and I'm going to say this, man. As far as the Jacksonville Jaguars go, I asked the question earlier, and I asked, was the Jaguars for real? And I think my answer to that is I think they're a lot better. For real, meaning, to me, that means, all right, we can make a push in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? We can do that. But as far as them being able to make the playoffs, I think they got it. I think they got what it takes, man. And some of the things that I said.
Wait a minute, man.
I'm going to talk to you.
There's only 7 spots. You saying the Jaguars are going to be one of 7 teams in the postseason.
They number 1 in their division right now. That's all I'm going to tell you. And I still ain't sold on the Colts. The Colts got 1 game. I still ain't sold. So they number 1 in their division right now. Their offense is looking – I like the way that the offense looks because they use every part of the field. I'm talking about they push the ball down the field. They run the ball in between the tackles with James Robinson. They run the ball outside. They use a dynamic back in Travis Etienne. They hit the ball over the middle. They use all parts of the fields. They use their play action. It's hard to come up with an exact plan for the Jacksonville Jaguars because they're doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? And James Robinson is running the ball well. You know what I'm saying? He's running the ball very well. Mm-hmm. Another 100-yard game for him, got in the paint. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing his thing there. And they just got a lot of different pieces. And honestly, it made me feel like I can't wait until they get a guy, though. Like that one guy where it's like he is your Devontae Adams, your Jamar Chase, your Justin Jefferson, or, that guy where it's like, he is our guy, and then everything else flows around him. Now they just have an offense full of guys that can all get it done, and it's just a team collaboration. He's getting the ball to receivers, tight ends, running backs. Like that, I like the way that offense looks, and it's very conducive to developing a quarterback. Not saying Trevor Lawrence is terrible. He's playing some solid ball, but he's not playing top of the league ball. But I think it's good for his development, for him to play in this particular offense. He is playing well. He's running this offense really well, as you can see. And I just told you he put up, 38 points against the Los Angeles Chargers defense. That's pretty solid in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And they did everything that they can do in this game. But overall, after a while, it was just too much. For the Chargers, man, it's a puzzling loss, man, and you can tell that there is a huge effect with Keenan Allen being out. You know what I'm saying? You don't have your chain mover.
That's a fact.
You don't have your chain mover. Mike Williams is a one-stop shop guy, man. He's either gonna hit you with the big plays or he ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's not the guy that's gonna continue to move those chains and get open. You know what I'm saying? Those 3rd and 8s, those 2nd and 10s, and get some yards for that first down. He's outside. He can hit you for the deep plays, in which he's a
30-yard jump ball guy.
Yeah, and he got a touchdown. You know what I'm saying, for this particular game. But that's not what keeps offense going. That's not what helps you develop a rhythm. You know what I'm saying? What helps you get into rhythm is a guy like Keenan Allen, where you can hit for those short passes over the middle. You know what I'm saying, and outside and all those other different things. And they don't have that. You know what I'm saying? We all know Justin Herbert can make the immaculate throws, the wild throws. He's done that. He does that week in and week out. But he needs to hit that, you know, a lot of those, he needs his Keenan Allen back. He needs that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big thing with that. And I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna start this list, Willie Jack, and it's my own coaching hot seat list. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Staley is on it. Staley is on it, man.
Oh yeah, he been on mine too.
Staley is on it, man. I think he's doing a terrible job in coaching. And the thing I want to point out, towards the end of the game, you getting blown out, man. You getting blown out. Why is Justin Herbert, who's already hurt, on the field?
Now I thought that too. It was a 4-touchdown lead, and he's still in the game with a minute left. What are we doing?
And he has the nerve to say, "Well, it was Justin Herbert's decision." If Justin Herbert was the coach, then what we need you for? If Justin Herbert is the coach of the team and he makes the decisions, well, I don't need you. You can just go ahead if Justin Herbert.
What you here for, dog? Yeah, what are you here for then?
No, you're here to make the decisions that's going to be better for our team.
In the best interest of the team.
Game? That's terrible. You know what I'm saying? That's terrible. Staley is on my high seat list, man. And hey, right now,
I got a warm seat for him right next to Matt Rule. He can sit right next to Matt Rule.
I got another coach
in the front of the struggle bus.
And I got another coach we're gonna talk about later. We're gonna throw him in there, throw him in those seats. I got 3 seats. We got 3 seats.
Okay, I got you. Real quick, man. Let me get a couple comments. Real quick. Man, hey, I gotta run this one back just because, man, we glazed over it when I come back to that one. I come back when the time is right. But okay, here we go. Jarrell, day one game, Jarrell, man, said this game was probably the most shocking outcome, and I think that's fair, man. Just on paper and just what you expect from the Chargers. But I think Chop hit the nail right on the head that the effect of not having Keenan Allen really is really a drastic change on the viability of this offense and how dynamic they could be and how dynamic that Justin Herbert could be as well without having his number one guy, his security blanket, his chain mover. And so I think Keenan Allen's being missing in action can't be downplayed at all. One more comment before our dog Miles. He said Christian Kirk was worth that bread. He was worth that money. Hey, he damn sure was, man, because we all had something to say counting that man's pockets, and we knew better than to count another man's money anyway. But hey, that money's well spent. Him and Trevor are definitely playing well together. And just like Chop was saying, man, Trevor Lawrence is playing. He is improving week over week. Just like Chop said, I feel the same way. I'm still not blown away by anything he's done, but he is playing well. And I think this is also a shout out and a kudos. And if y'all was here preseason on my coaching rankings, you'd have heard them listed. Doug Peterson is the real deal, man. Doug Peterson's the truth. I really was so impressed with what Doug Peterson did in Philly, and it still blew my mind that they let him go, and then they let him go for Wentz. Then you turn around and let Wentz go too. So it's like, what are we doing? But no, man, definitely like him as a coach, and he's another guy, man. Came up under Andy Reid, so he's under that tree, that umbrella, and so. But no. And I said this when he got that job as well. If anybody's going to get the best out of Trevor Lawrence, it's going to be Doug Peterson, one of those guys who could, a quarterback whisperer, so to say, or, what have you. And so it looks to be bearing fruit. So like I said, he's got that team playing well. And here's the real unsung hero in this whole ordeal. That Jacksonville defense balling. You know what I mean? So they got a lot of names and faces, a lot of them young. We don't know a lot of them. Trayvon Walker is playing well in some spots. Devin Lloyd, I think he was my top linebacker coming into the draft from Utah. I can't remember where you had him, if he was your top guy or not either. But
you said who?
Devin Lloyd, the middle linebacker for the Jaguars.
I can't remember where I had him at either.
I think you might have had the kid from Georgia, number 1.
Probably.
The Kobe Dean kid.
That sounded about right.
But no, he's playing well. He had an interception in this game off a deflected pass. And like I said, man, they're just playing. They're playing really good ball on both sides of the ball. Shout out to Chop's boy James Robinson, because he looked damn good. He looked really good in this game, and so he's looking nice. He's looking explosive, especially handling the inside running duties, man. A and B gap, and he's hitting them, and he's going, man. He took off and had a long touchdown run in this game, if I remember right, like 30-40 yards. Yeah. And so he's looking really good. And no, man, it just things are really going well for this Jaguars team. Now, I don't anticipate they're going to be a playoff team. And honestly, I just think it's too heavy at the top. Chop makes a good point. They are leading their division, and that division is down, or it is weak. I think who's the 4th team I'm not thinking about in that division? Jacksonville, Houston, Indianapolis. Who's the 4th team?
Is it the
who am I missing?
You said Indy already, right?
Yeah, Indy, Jacksonville, Houston. Somebody, who's the fourth team in the AFC South? Come on, chat. Who's in there? Somebody help me out, man.
Right. Somebody gonna come with it.
And as soon as we say it, we're gonna be like, dog, obviously. Bro, who's the come on, man.
That's how it's gonna go. You know how it's gonna go. You know exactly how it's gonna go.
Where's Tom at? Tom, where you at? I'm in your division.
The Titans. The Titans.
The Titans. There we go. Okay. The Titans. And so if I had to pick one of those four, because that division's playing poor. You know what I mean? Jacksonville, well, you know what? Now you say that Jacksonville is playing the best out of all the teams in that division. That's real.
They playing good defense.
They really are, bro. I don't know if I can get. They'd have to win that division to make the playoffs for sure.
I know it sounds bad because it's the Jaguars, but
hey, you know what?
I've seen enough.
Now that we established who's in that division, because the Titans ain't going. I already told y'all that before the season starts. It's not gonna be the Titans.
You gotta stick to that.
It's not gonna be the Texans. We know it wasn't gonna be the Texans. Tom and the Texans, they praying for CJ Stroud, and so that leaves the Jaguars and the Colts. And I think the Colts would have been who I picked to win this division to start. But Jacksonville's playing way better than the Colts on both sides of the ball, and they already smacked them boys to start the year anyway. And so I think, hey, they got it right now, man. So I gotta respect it. So no, good call, Chop. I gotta respect it, bro.
For sure.
Yeah.
On to the next one, Willie Jack, man. Let's go to my squad, man. The Rams, they go to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. They come away with this W 20-12. And I got the game that I was looking for from Stafford, man. He didn't throw any touchdowns this game, but I wanted the no turnover, good efficiency type game. And that's what he did. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a big game as we used to seeing from Cooper Kupp, but it was Sunday. So he got in the zone, you know what I'm saying? But this time it was on the carry, you know what I mean? So Rams end up playing a solid game in that sense. Still, the offense still got some work to do. Still got some things that we want to see. But I was happy with the performance of Stafford at the end of the day because that's what I wanted to see. I said I wanted him to put the cup down. He put the cup down. You know what I'm saying? He only had 6 targets this game. 4 of those was catches, you know what I'm saying, for about 40, 50 yards or something like that. Yeah. The rushing touchdown, something like that. So that's kind of how it went. But talk about efficiency. Now, this is where it looks the other way around. Rams only had 46 plays this game. The Cardinals had 81. They just about had the same amount of yards. You know what I'm saying? Rams had 339 total yards. The Cardinals had 365. So do the math there. You know what I'm saying? 81 plays for 365, 46 plays for 339. That lets you know where the Cardinals are. And I just think they're a lost team, man. They're a lost team. And their only hope from what I've seen thus far is Kyler Murray making plays. You know what I'm saying? They look like they're out there playing backyard football, you know what I'm saying, to where Kyler Murray is going in the huddle and saying, hey, look, I need you to run to the trash can, fake right, go left. I need you to run around him, go deep, and then you just stay off to the side, and then if ain't nobody open, I'm gonna throw you the ball. That's how it looked like he calling plays in the game, man.
Hey, you know what that made me think of when you said that? And I don't know about all of y'all in here. You know what, man? Brother Red in here, he might know this movie. I used to love, and I still do. I love the movie Any Given Sunday, bro, with Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J. Yeah. And then that reminded me of the scene where Al Pacino's trying to give the pep talk speech to Jamie Foxx. Just pretend like you're back in the hood and your mama's ringing the bell. You got time for one pass. He said, go to the Buick, turn around, I'll throw it at you. That's what that just reminded me of.
That's what they look like.
And speaking of that, that's another guy on my hot seat with Kingsbury.
That's 4 guys, man.
No, you didn't tell me your third. You said you're gonna hold on to it.
I'm gonna get to him. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know to go get 4 chairs for me because I'm gonna need.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, but we putting Cliff Kingsbury squarely in the seat next to Matt Rule and Brandon Staley in the struggle bus, man. But no, I think you actually surmised that perfectly. This is just an offense without direction, and so the success and failure of this team is strictly at the whim and the off-schedule playmaking of Kyler Murray. If he's able to be off schedule and buy himself 12 seconds so that somebody can finally come open and he can hit you deep for 30 yards, then this team can move the ball and they can score points and they can win. But if they are held into the confines of a traditional play, and that's a shout out to the Rams defense, because they did what the Raiders couldn't. They didn't let Kyler just run around and have his way like he was playing freeze tag in the park when you 12 years old. It can't nobody touch him. And so he was forced into making plays from a more traditional standpoint, and they just weren't up to it. They just weren't able to do it. Now, some of that also, Cliff Kingsbury in this wide open spread system he brought off from Texas Tech, but they really just don't have a weapon. They don't have a dependable weapon outside. So DeAndre Hopkins is out for the first 6-7 games of this year. I can't remember what that suspension was.
6 games.
Okay, so he's out for the first 6. You bring over Hollywood Brown. You know what? I think he may have had a big catch.
No, Hollywood, I think had a pretty solid game overall.
Okay, I was about to say, yeah.
I think he had a pretty solid game, but it was.
I'm about to say, yeah. Yardage-wise, he finally put up some yards, but he
had 140, 14 catches and 140
yards. What was his long? I thought he had a big one.
20. He had 20 yards.
Oh, just 20? Okay, yeah, so 20. Okay, no, so he played well then. But he's not a guy. I don't know. That he's not enough. You know what I'm saying? AJ Green, man, has passed it. His legs are gone, man. I feel bad. My dog had to waste his career in Cincinnati. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. A lot of y'all didn't watch Cincinnati, boy. Y'all missed some excellent. That's AJ Green highlights for y'all ass, boy. Them early days in Cincinnati, boy. Y'all need to get on the game. But yeah, then Rondell Moore's injured this game, so they got this kid. I can't think of this kid's name that came in.
It's a Dortson or
something like that. And he made plays, man. And so, but he's a guy that made plays because a guy like Rondell Moore wasn't in. And then it makes me wonder, like, man, what does Rondell Moore do with those same touches? You know what I mean?
Greg Dortch, that's his name.
Greg Dortch. There you go. And so, yeah, it's a combination of, I think, Cliff Kingsbury doesn't have a firm enough hold on that team or on that offense. Definitely not on Kyler. And they have a lack of talent all the way around. The is non-existent. I don't know what happened to James Conner, who led the league and tied for the league in touchdowns last year. Where's he been at? You know what I mean? Now Chase Edmonds is in Miami, but whatever. It's Chase Edmonds. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And so yeah, that Arizona team, man, that's a team. Arizona's going to be drafting in the top 8 of this year's draft, I would imagine, unless D Hop comes back and he's fully recovered and healed and healthy, and they really do recapture that magic they had 2 years ago when he first got there, and maybe they go on some style of magical run. But no, that Arizona team looks to be in trouble, and it doesn't look like it's getting better anytime soon.
Gotcha. And I got a couple comments in here, Willie Jack, that I'm gonna read real quick, man. We had a bunch of them, so I'm only gonna do a couple of them. But shout out to Real Deal Sports, man. Skinny in the building, man. Shout out,
oh man, Real Deal is leading this thing, man.
Yeah, man, shout out Real Deal, man. He came in. He say Cincinnati AJ Green was a dog for sure.
Man, shout out to my dog, man. I'm telling you.
You know what? Let me stand on what me and Willie Jack told. I ain't gonna say he was a dog because we be throwing the dog term around. He was a hell of a receiver. I'll say that he was a hell of a receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that boy was getting busy, man. He had boys thinking Andy Dalton was a real quarterback. People thought Andy Dalton was a real quarterback for years. You know what I'm saying? Because AJ Green was out there getting busy.
He was getting busy for sure. He was definitely getting busy. And then Miles came in. He said Kyler Murray was not the money. He should have played baseball. I'm gonna say this about Kyler Murray. You give Kyler Murray the structure of a Doug Peterson has. We look at him Kyler. I think
I gotta say now, Miles.
I think Kyler is definitely worth the money. He just came. It was his time. You know what I'm saying? But like, we give him the structure of some of these other quarterbacks the other quarterbacks have, and that's part of what we're talking about. And that's, I preach this a lot too, is that situations matter, man. Situations matter. You just got done talking about a situation with AJ Green in Cincinnati. You know, this situation with Kyler and in Arizona with the coaching that he has. Like, we put him in a good system with a good coach that can call some good plays, put him in good situations, man. We looking at a guy that, who knows, man, how good he can be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he enters that top 5 conversation. You know what I'm saying? If he's in a better situation. He's got some tremendous talent, man. And that's without question. But when you just put a guy out there to just say, hey, go make something happen, yeah, of course. It's not going to look good. It's not going to look pretty, and it's not going to be smooth. So that's my take on it, man. Until I see him with in a better situation, I'll reserve my judgment on whether I felt like he was worth it or not.
Well, no, see, I won't go as far as say I reserve judgment, because that situation may never come. So you got to make the best of where you at.
Right.
So I'm not going to necessarily give him a pass, but I think Miles, you came in a little too strong because Kyler has his own special skill set, and it may not appear so at first glance. Can you just look at him and say, "Oh, he's another Lamar. Oh, he's another Jalen Hurts." Oh, no, he does it different than those guys. They're all fast and they're all elusive. They all can run. But he does it with his own style and flair. You know what I mean? Like, I think Kyler's scrambling, and hear me out on this, it's a lot more. Y'all, I don't even know if y'all know these names, man. Thank goodness my dog No Vultures is in the building, man. Joseph Kenny, man, because he dived back into them old days like me, man. Kyler scrambling is a lot more Fran Tarkenton than it is Michael Vick. You know what I'm saying? And so if y'all don't know the name Fran Tarkenton, man, it's a dude in the 60s. He played for Minnesota. He had all the quarterback records for yardage and completions and et cetera, before like Favre came and broke a lot of those, or yeah, I think Favre broke them first, and then Peyton and so on. But yeah, play with those Vikings teams back in the day, and it looked a lot like what you see from Kyler. A lot of just backyard football. He's running around with the ball in one hand. He's going sideline to sideline. He might touch both sidelines during one play as he scrambles until he finds somebody open to throw the ball. That was Fran Tarkenton's game. Now, they never won a championship. I think they went to the Super Bowl maybe twice, but they definitely didn't win either. But that's his style. That's more close to his game. Whereas you got a guy like Lamar, whose scrambling is more similar to what we've seen more familiar and more recently with Michael Vick. So he's got his own style, and he's accurate. He's an accurate thrower of the football. You know what I'm saying? Like, he fits some balls in some places that a lot of guys can't. He's a small guy. He's 5'8". He's listed 5'9". It tells me he's 5'7.5". When they write down on paper 5'9", it tells me the boy's 5'7.5". You know what I'm saying? So, and he's got a gun. Now, maybe baseball helped that, or some of it was natural, but he's got a cannon. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen him make plays, man, that a lot of other guys can't. So I still think he's a special. I say all that to say I agree with Chop in that. I think he's a special talent. Boy, you crazy as hell. Give Doug Peterson Kyler Murray right now. Y'all think the Eagles balling? Man, stop. Well, you know what? They ain't got A.J. Brown. But Doug Peterson get his hands on Kyler Murray, bro, you can cancel Christmas. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So that speaks to Chop point, where sometimes players get lucky and the perfect player meets the perfect coach. Tom Brady got lucky and went the 6th round of time to Bill Belichick. Patrick Mahomes got lucky and got drafted and had Andy Reid trade up for him and go get him in the 1st round. He could have went to Chicago and been with old boy whose name was
Nagy,
and been with Nagy. He may be Mr. Trubisky right now. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So there is some credence to your situation. Does help. But yeah, nah, man. Kyler can play, man. Kyler can play. But I think this is the problem when I think the player is too strong. He doesn't have a strong enough coach to keep him in line. So, or not to say he's a grown man, not that way, but still, he overrules or overspeaks and holds more sway than the coach. And it's already a young, inexperienced coach who doesn't have any ground to stand on. And not even from college, he wasn't like a dynamic college coach. Nobody owes Cliff Kingsbury the benefit of the doubt. So if Kyler doesn't hear something he doesn't like, he tells him no, and tells him to go sit in the corner, and Cliff don't do nothing but turn around and go sit in the corner. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's more so the problem. He needs somebody with the chops that's strong enough to tell him when he's wrong. You know what I mean? And you've got the resume to back it up.
Gotcha. All right, Willie Jack, man, let's keep it moving, man. Let's go on to the next game, man. We had Atlanta go to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Atlanta wins this game 27-23. Willie Jack, what's your take?
Oh, my bad. I'll keep it. You said Atlanta and okay, yeah. Atlanta and Seattle. Okay, yeah. And so now this is one. Give me that score again one more time. What was the final score of that?
27-23.
Atlanta. Okay, there we go. Okay.
It was in Seattle though. They won.
Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, because I took Seattle in this game because I thought the crowd noise and would be getting.
We talked about the 12th man.
Huh?
Because we had talked about the 12th man before.
Exactly, yeah. Because I thought Seattle would do more, because Atlanta has been kind of the road warriors this year. They've been on the road to LA. They were going from the East Coast in Atlanta all the way to LA, then back to the East Coast, back home, and then all the way back to the West Coast in Seattle with that crowd noise. So I thought Seattle would pull it off. But now I've got to give kudos and a shout out, man, to Arthur Smith and what they're doing in Atlanta. And so this is a team where on paper I thought Atlanta was going to be the least talented team in the league. And they're not. Mariota, and this is what I think I can appreciate about Mariota right now. Now, I'm still not as high on him as Chop was, of course. He's finally in an offense that is where he needed to be. the offense in Atlanta, it's very, very, very. It's almost collegey. It's nothing intricate. It's very, very run dependent, very, very play action dependent, very, very. He's. I mean, it's specifically catering to the things that he can do primarily in the run game with his legs. Cordero Patterson is running the ball excellent. He had a couple big runs in this one. He did have a touchdown run as well. But this is a guy too. Imagine if Cordell Patterson was a running back 10 years ago. If he didn't play receiver for 8 years before finding out he's a Pro Bowl caliber running back at the age of 30. Because boy still got juice in his legs. He's 6'2", 220. He's a big boy. And he's got wheels. He can move, dangerous in the open field. And so, but no, man, you got to give credit to Atlanta. Atlanta's in this early, but they're making me that I'm getting the kind of feeling about them that we had about Detroit last year, where they're losing, but they just always fight. They still always in the mix. And if you slipping, they'll punish you. You know what I'm saying? They'll take one from you. And so Atlanta is doing just that. You count them out. You don't give them any credit. And they're right there week after week, play after play. And like I said, they're right there to the end of these games and then end up winning this one on the road. On the other side of that, man, who was I finna say? I forgot. It was a play I want to point out that it was a throw I want to point out about Geno Ben, but I'm losing it. But go ahead and help me out, man, see if it comes to me.
Okay, so my takeaway in this game, man, was like you said, I agree with everything that you said. But, Atlanta was this team last year. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta was this team that was well coached, you know what I'm saying? And if you didn't come in the game prepared, that they can pull one out from you. And they did. They pulled some games out last year against some teams that we didn't expect them to, and they did. You know what I'm saying? They came away with the W's. And I think they're that team again this year, especially when you got a quarterback like Mariota, who's very dangerous with using his legs. You know what I'm saying? That always brings a different dynamic to your offense. But I got to give him kudos, man. You're finally using your boy. You know what I'm saying? Finally use your boy. You went ahead and you was like, you know what? Let's get Kyle Pitts the ball. 8 targets this game, 5 for 87. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get in the paint. But that's what I like to see, man. That's what I like to see. This is your player. You know what I'm saying? Willie told me, I'm going off what Willie told me. Willie told me this was a generational talent. You know what I'm saying? He didn't tell me Drake London was no generational talent. He told me Kyle Pitts was.
That's a fact. And I don't say that all the time.
And if Kyle Pitts is a generational talent, man, you need to give him the ball, hands down. Mm-hmm. You need to get him the ball in whatever way you can. You know what I'm saying? And they did that. They gave him a screen, which that's perfectly fine. He can run. He's not slow.
Boy, run 4-4.
Yeah. He's fast. Give him a screen. They gave him some slants. They gave him a deep jump ball. That's what you're supposed to do with a guy like him. You know what I'm saying? He's not your Kelsey where he's going to come route guys up like that. He's not your, he's not those type of guys. He is a guy where you figure it out. He is an athletic specimen, and I'm glad that they made it a point to get him the ball in this particular game, got him going. He made some key first down catches for them and got them in position, helped get them in position to win. And like you said, Willie Jack and everything else, Atlanta comes away with the W, and they put it together.
And then real quick, man, shout out to Kevin Wilkinson in the building, man. I don't recognize your name, man. Welcome to the crib. Appreciate you coming through, man. He dropped a couple comments for us, though. He said Seattle is not all that with Geno. And that's to be expected. Well, Seattle was another team we expected to be on the downfall, but I think they're a lot better than I anticipated they would be with Geno. And so I want to give them credit for that. But honestly, man, the praise and the kudos and all the high fives off that week 1 victory against Denver, you know what I'm saying? That stuff's wearing off. You got to get back and win some of these games, especially when you've got a very winnable team coming to your crib, you know what I'm saying, in Atlanta. That's when you got to have, you know what I'm saying? And especially knowing that you're not going to have a lot of opportunities going forward. He said Locke has a better arm, but is easily effed up with the bluff pressure. And yet, one thing about Locke is he can throw it 100 miles an hour. He just don't know where it's going, though. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely got a cannon arm. But, man, ain't nobody safe from the third row in. Anybody could get that thing is the only thing about it. And then just like you said, man, he's got terrible pocket awareness. And now that you say that, Kevin, man, that's one thing I wanted to say about Mariota in this game. He took some ugly sacks in this game. And it was a little sloppy play. He had the fumble on the RPO handoff. I think he probably wanted to keep it a little too late. He puts it on the ground. And then there was a couple blitzes that, like, I think Kobe Bryant, the rookie corner from Seattle, smoked them. And it was a front face shot. Smoked him.
It was off of a play action. He came out play action. By the time he turned around to face, he was helmet on chin. It was right there.
No, and that's fair. It was on a play action. He took another one, bro. That I just felt like, bro, what are you doing? Like it was right in your face, and you just man act like it wasn't there coming till he hit you in the mouth. But no, man, some good comments, man, for Kevin Wilkinson. And then he said, look at Denver now. Man, shit, I'm still looking. They ain't showed me nothing yet, man. I mean, they got a dub, but they not looking impressive at all. Not offensively. You know what I'm saying? Russell Wilson still he owes somebody in Denver $200 million because I ain't seen it yet. You know what I'm saying? But that defense is balling though, man. So Patrick Surtain and those boys, Chubb, they playing real well. But now I'm still waiting to see it from Denver as well. Man, he flooded us in this thing. I appreciate you, big dog. Come on with it. He said another one for my dog, man, Kevin Wilkins. He said he'd like to see Atlanta use Pitts in a 2 tight end set like Tampa has and other teams have, but they need a hands first tight end to partner up. Well, now here's the only thing I would say about that, Wilkinson. In the 2 tight end set, so if you're talking about traditional like 20, are you talking about like 21 personnel? So 2 tight ends, 1 back, and then just 2 receivers that way, or are you talking another tight end lining up in line as your wide, and then Kyle Pitts being a second tight end on the field, but then he split out, maybe acting as your big slot? Because I don't necessarily want to confine him to traditional tight end alignments and placements where you can move him around and get so much bang for your buck. So I don't know if I necessarily agree that I want him just kind of right there as the end man line on the scrimmage, put him right underneath a DN or with a linebacker right on top of him, somebody getting his way and slow him down to getting into his routes. But yeah, I don't know what you think about that, Chop. But I don't want us to. I wouldn't want to handicap a guy like that, man. I want to use him any and everywhere. I don't know if I want to lock him into like 21 personnel.
I think they should just make him the focal point of the offense. Period. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he should be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they put a hands down tight end, but I don't think that'll make a difference though in terms of what the way I feel like he should be used. He's at 21 or 22. You say you can go heavy, short yards, you know what I'm saying, but also put him in the slot. I think that he operates well when moved around. Put him in motion, put him in the slot, put him on the outside, you know what I'm saying, put him in the backfield. You can put him in just about anywhere in different places to give him the ball. Be creative. You can use him just as a weapon. He's a weapon at the end of the day. And no matter where he lines up at, he's a mismatch. You know what I'm saying? Like if you line him up on the outside, he's too big for a corner. You know what I'm saying? I can run slants all day if I put him on a backside by itself. You know what I'm saying? With nobody over there. I can run a slant and I can run a flat route out the backfield with my running back and let that linebacker choose, because you're not getting, as a corner, you're not getting inside on him. And he gonna use his big body. That's easy 6 yards every play. You know what I'm saying? If I want it, if I use him on the inside, that slot. You know what I'm saying? I could do a lot of different things with that. Put him in motion. You know, it's so many different things that you can actually do with him, to where it doesn't matter, you know, what you do. And then if we get him on the goal line, if I want to line him up outside, 1-on-1 with anybody, I'm throwing him the ball. And if y'all want to double him, cool. That's just like Calvin Johnson. When they line up 2 corners on him, now I got this whole inside with a running.
You still got Drake London. Drake London 6'5", 220. You know what I'm saying? So you still, exactly. So
you got that, but then you also open up things on the inside for the run game. I'm a running quarterback now. You know what I'm saying? So I got 2 guys out there. All the numbers speak for us right now on his inside. I can run this ball right at you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so many things you can do, man.
No, I got you. He had another comment too, man. He said, as far as Seattle, are they going to keep those wide receivers together? Is Carr going to stay much longer? And for me, when everything was coming out with Seattle, and we'll move on after this one, man. I know we got to get through the rest of the games. But to me, the situation in Seattle was reminiscent for me of the situation that was in Philly with Peterson and Wentz, where there was an obvious kind of disconnect. The coach and the quarterback were no longer on the same page or no longer seeing eye to eye. And so the organization has to make a choice. Now, Philly, well, they chose Wentz initially because I think Peterson got let go before they announced that Wentz was also going to be traded or let go, however they ended up playing it. They ended up just washing their hands with both of them and starting fresh. But in Seattle, and I had talked about this in the group back at the time as well, let Pete go. Go ahead and turn this over to Russ and build going forward with Russell Wilson. Let the vestiges of the past go. You know what I'm saying? And so I was always in the mindset to keep Russ and not Curl. But now that Curl is still there, them letting Russ go and keeping Curl tells me Curl's going to retire in Seattle. So I don't know how much longer he wants to be there. But when you choose to let go of a franchise quarterback who's still relatively in his prime, not necessarily his athletic prime, but he's in his quarterback prime. You know what I mean? As far as quarterbacks really age like wine because the game gets so easier for them mentally. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Tom Brady could be MVP at 45 years old. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers at 40. But So that tells me Pete Carroll's not going nowhere. Now, as far as those wideouts, Tyler Lockett, that deal, I think he just signed it 2 years ago, and they locked into that. I think they're locked into that for at least one more year, and I think that was also his money on the books, and DK Metcalf's contract was also coming up at the time, wasn't also hampering in the re-signing of Russ because he needed a new contract as well. But Metcalf's contract was a good deal when it got signed. It's only a 3-year deal, and so it was enough to get him paid because he was coming off his rookie deal. He hadn't made no money yet, so it made sense on both sides to sign a deal, get yourself paid, but you didn't commit to them long term. So they've got 3 years to convince DK to stay there. Essentially, is how I look at it. And they, you know what I'm saying? So I guess that would be my answer to that. I think DK in those wideouts, 2 more years before DK maybe is a trading piece going into the last year of his contract at best. Type of deal, but let me see.
Gotcha.
A couple more comments. Yeah.
All right. Well,
man, Eli can't talk about nobody being worth no contract. Eli is the most overrated football quarterback, one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the history of football. The man had 2 magical runs. I give him that. But outside of that, the man was garbage, trash. You know what I'm saying? High quality garbage. So I don't like.
I wouldn't go this far as trash.
You know who he was? He was Ryan Tannehill. How y'all feel about Ryan Tannehill in here, man? He was Kirk Cousins. He was Ryan Tannehill. He was Kirk Cousins. He was Alex Smith. He was any number of these guys. He had 56% completion percentage. He consistently threw double-digit interceptions. I don't know if he's ever thrown 30 touchdowns in the season. There was nothing special at all about Eli Manning as far as what he did on the field, outside of those 2 magical seasons and having Manning on the back of his jersey. If his name was any other name but Manning, we probably wouldn't even be talking about that boy right now today. No, because he still had those 2 magical seasons, or those 2 magical playoff runs, because they were bottom tier teams headed into those playoff runs for the defenses when them boys was lights out. So yeah, Eli got to chill out before he start questioning the boys' money out here.
All right. On to the next game, Willie Jack, man. Let's go to Tampa Bay, where we had Green Bay. They end up pulling out this W, man, and they win this game 14-12. And you know what? This game played out exactly how I thought it would, man. It was a game where, of course, Tampa Bay is without a lot of their weapons, or pretty much their top 3 receivers. You know what I'm saying? So they had to go with receivers 4 on down, and they had to play the style of game that they played the week before, which was a conservative game. Let's play defense. Tom Brady, don't go out there making no mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get in the end zone. And again, they score 1 touchdown. I told y'all in Chop Willie in the morning, the week 1, Tom Brady and the Bucks only scored 1 touchdown. Week 2, Tom Brady and the Bucks scored 1 touchdown. And week 3, they only scored 1 touchdown, going against a good Green Bay defense. So this is the way I expected this game to play. They played tough defense. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give up a ton of points. You know, and normally, you know what I'm saying, in a normal setting, if everybody's healthy, if the Bucks give up if they hold a team to 14 points, they come out and they win that game. You know what I'm saying? But this is a different game. You also going against that, like I said, that tough Green Bay defense. The Tampa Bay Bucks were without a lot of their weapons on offense, you know, and that was just the name of the game. Green Bay just played clean. They played clean enough and made a few more plays to come away with the W. And hey, maybe this is the coming out party, Willie Jack. I told y'all, the rookie, Romeo Dobbs, man, he was the number 1 targeted guy for Aaron Rodgers this game, man. He came away with, you know what I'm saying, 8 catches in this game and a tub. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, he came out. He did what he's supposed to do. He helped out the offense, especially with them having some injuries in Christian Watson and Sammy Watkins. And he stepped up big. He did what he needed to do. But all that to say, Green Bay came away with this W, man, and they win this game 14-12.
Yeah, and this was ugly, man. And then our dog, man, Miles in the comment, he said he meant to say one tub is times and more when people are hurt, even in New England. And now this is the thing, though. Now this was definitely an ugly game, a very defensive game. And honestly, I think we both had. No, I think your score was a little wider than mine in prediction, but I had this game. I think less than a touchdown difference. I imagined it was gonna be a hard fought game. For one, Tom just doesn't have any weapons outside to throw the ball, and 2, Green Bay's defense is a top 5 defense in the league. So I thought maybe there'd be more points, maybe a little more scoring of points, 14-12. But as far as it being a defensive struggle, that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, and honestly, man, I don't want to critique Tom too too bad for this. The boy was throwing to Cole Beasley, who just got there last week, and Scotty goddamn Miller. You like what'd you want him to do? You know what I'm saying? And so I don't necessarily want to hold that against him so much. Now on Green Bay side, just like Chop said, man, and kudos to Chop, man. Shout out to my dog because he's been talking about this Romeo Dobbs kid for a while. So to see him finally, hit pay dirt a little bit, man. So he had a big day. Was the difference maker in this one for sure, I guess, as far as Green Bay in the passing game. But yeah, no, it's an ugly, hard fought win. To this point, Tampa Bay had Aaron and Green Bay's number in all the other head-to-head matchups. But the way this game went, Green Bay is closer to full strength than Tom Brady and them are. So if Tom Brady gets back one of his weapons, they probably still that may have been enough to be the difference in this game. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to get back Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. If one of them was back, just if he'd just had anything on the outside, that could have completely changed the landscape of this game because both defenses played very well, and Green Bay and their offense, they're still trying to, find a groove that works for them as well. But so I still expect Tom Brady and the Bucs to round out and eventually win this division. And honestly, like I said, if they see Green Bay and them boys down the road, I don't think this game's going to have any effect on them at all because they're going to know, man, you caught us with two hands behind our back. You know what I'm saying? Tom had to throw to the JV kids at the end of the bench. You know what I'm saying? And those are the guys he had all day to fight with. So I'm not too worried from Tom Brady. The fact that defense showed up and it's been showing up most every week. Yeah, that defense has been here every week, even throughout the struggles of that Tampa Bay offense, struggling with injury, with missing pieces, and just getting themselves going. So Tom Brady numbers is going to be all right. They just got to get boys back and get boys healthy. If anything, people may be in trouble because if Tom and them shake off, if they go through their injury bug phase this early in the year. Now imagine if they come back strong, full force toward the second half of the season, and then it's the Super Bowl run just all over again. They were just the most healthiest team left in the league at that point, and they just ran through. You know what I'm saying? Ran through to a championship. So once Tom get his horses, man, it'll be business as usual.
Gotcha. A couple injury updates in this particular game too. The Packers finally got David Bakhtiari back, man. So he's back. He's playing. He's playing and fully healthy in this game. And they did lose Jair Alexander in this game, man, with a growing injury. He didn't play that second half, so that's big. Well, of course, we'll be monitoring that and seeing how he's doing. Of course, a big piece to this particular defense being a number one corner and one of the top guys of the league. So that's one thing that we're for sure looking at. Bowles will have his
I was gonna ask. I don't know what he's saying right there. Said Bowles have his D in. Yeah, hey, I need some more.
Maybe he's saying the defense will keep the Bucs in games.
Oh, defense in games. Okay, we'll have the defense will keep it in games. Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, they got some horses on every level of that defense, man. And so I like Antoine Winfield Jr. coming in. I don't know if he was my number one or number two safety coming in that year, but I was pretty big on Winfield when he was coming in from Minnesota. So he's still balling. I like that cornerback room: Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy-Bunting. I can't remember that other guy's name, but I like their group.
Jacoby Dean.
There we go. Yep. And I always forget to mention him in those things. But so you still got him. The linebackers core still. You still got Levante David, man, who's been there for, it feels like he's been there 20 years, and he's still playing. Still one of the premier pass coverage linebackers in the league still. Even at this point in his career, you still got a young Devin White. I think he had a sack in this game. I want to –
What happened?
I lost my screen for a second, but yeah. So I started to say, man, that Tampa Bay defense is stacked on all levels, and like I said, they just need anything at all on the offensive side of the ball, and they're going to win a lot of these games without no problem. Like I said, they held Green Bay to 14 points. How often is that defense going to lose, or is that team going to lose when the defense holds a team as talented as Green Bay to 14? So, like I say, if Tom had any weapons in this game, it may have been just more of the same that we have seen every time that Tom has went up against Ron in this little matchup here since they've been in Tampa Bay.
For sure. All right, Willie Jack. Let's move on to Sunday night football, man. Sunday night football, we had San Francisco traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos, man. And this game was ugly, man. This is an ugly game to watch. Denver ends up winning the game 11-10. Willie Jack, talk to me, bro.
On my fault, I was replying in the comment. You said 11-10. What game was this?
San Francisco and Denver.
Oh,
but I'll go ahead and tackle it.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So for me, it was a bad game by both teams. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to start off with the 49ers. So with the 49ers, they got bad Jimmy G, okay? And Oh, as quick as everybody, as the crowd, or the majority of people were kind of, they it was a sigh of relief for them to say, all right, Jimmy G is back. You know what I'm saying? We know what we getting. They were reminded really quick of the other side of Jimmy G. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why they wanted to move on from Jimmy G in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It was because of the play that the way that he played this particular game. You know what I'm saying? Lost the fumble, threw an interception. You know what I'm saying? They cost them games. They cost them drives. You know what I'm saying? When they were moving that ball, got sacked 4 times in this particular game. You know what I'm saying? So we quickly were reminded of the other side of Jimmy G, the bad Jimmy G. You know what I'm saying? So we got a chance to see that in this particular game, which pretty much held this offense back from getting anything going. Now, I also don't want to take anything away from this Denver defense. The Denver defense has been balling. They've been playing some really good ball, and they've been smothering, smothering up front and on the back end. They playing some really good ball. And this Broncos offense is still struggling, man. The Broncos offense is still struggling. And that other coach, man, that 4th seat, man, is Nathaniel Hackett, Willie Jack. I'm putting him in that 4th seat, man. That's the 4th guy. So we got him. We got
Kingsbury in Arizona.
Kingsbury, and we got Rule. You know what I'm saying? Those 4 guys are in those spots, man. They are in my hot seats. You know what I'm saying? Those are the guys that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I might be ready for them to get out the seat, maybe even before the season is over. So I'll do that. Kudos to the Broncos though for sticking to the run, but they didn't have any. They weren't effective at running the ball. But if you're going to continue to run, if you're not being effective, you got to come up with something off of that. You got to come up with play action. You got to move the line of scrimmage. You got to do a lot of different things in order to be successful on offense. And Nathaniel Hackett wasn't doing any of that. It was just like, I'm running this ball for no reason. They averaged about 2, maybe 3 yards a carry. And because the defense was playing so well, but if I'm going to keep running it, you got to come up with something. You know what I'm saying? You're doing a good job of sticking to it because you're trying to keep the defense honest, but you're not coming with nothing on the back end of that. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that was puzzling for me. I didn't see anything come off of that. The one bright spot was just the last drive by Russell Wilson. That was the one time I saw throughout this season where he was just like, all right, I'm just going to put the team on my back and I'm going to do my thing. You saw the old Russell Wilson. He scrambled, made some good and some big throws, some huge throws, hit Cortland Sutton a couple times. They got him down there. They punched it in, you know what I'm saying? And they carried them to the victory, man. They win this game 11-10. But other than that, it was just bad football, man. Bad football on both sides of the ball up until that drive.
No, exactly right. And then did Jerry Jeudy get banged up in that game? Or am I tripping?
Jerry Jeudy was banged up before the game.
Is that okay?
Before the game, and he ended up playing.
Okay. I was gonna say but no, I think just like you said, man. Outside of a couple splash throws to Cortland Sutton, the one that's coming to mind for me is I think he was Russell's booting out and he hits Cortland like on the right sideline for it was like a 30-yard pass or something like that, man. But it's way too few and far in between, man. Seeing those flashes of what we paid $253 million for, Russell. You know what I'm saying? I can't call you dangerous no more. Ain't nothing dangerous about you no more right now, big dog. You Russell. You know what I mean? Like I want bring Deandre Russ back, but no, just like you said, man, we had some good comments. I don't know if it was Miles or maybe Kevin Wilkinson, man, said the Broncos. No, it was Miles. He said the Broncos are hard to watch, and they really are. Our dog, they won Gang Jarrell in the comments, man, said they got a very solid running back field, and that's true too. They've got 2 excellent backs, man. We were both big fans of Javonte Williams coming into the league, and then Melvin Gordon is still a solid piece as well, man. And then they haven't necessarily been able to just pin their tails to their wagon either. But the good thing for Denver, that defense is still like we've been saying, they are playing well. Patrick Surtain, man, is as advertised, man. Chop's dog when he was coming in a couple years ago, so he's playing very well as well. But now Denver for the most part, man, is playing ugly ball, man. So
gotcha. Drill says Jimmy ain't a comeback type of QB, and hey, I mean, we've seen it, man. I'm agreeing with you. Until he proves otherwise, I want to see it.
And and see that's the thing. Like that's not what I expect from Jimmy, because I still, like I said, I expect San Francisco. Now we also got to keep in mind that Jimmy G, but for all intents and purposes, both sides, him and the coaching staff, nobody anticipated he was still going to be on the roster. And so I heard it on, it may have been Colin Cowherd's show, but he was talking about how Jimmy, he didn't practice at all. He wasn't given a playbook. just none of that, because in anticipation of him being traded, and then when, like I said, the Niners just botched that whole Jimmy trade situation anyway, and so then when he got there, for all intents and purposes, he still wasn't expected to play, and so even though he's been there in the organization, he's about 3 weeks now into that playbook, and so now I'm not saying I expect it to be lights out, you know what I'm saying, once he kind of gets his familiarity back or whatever the case, because like I said, he is still limited in what he can give you. But the bigger point is Jimmy's not going to, if the things around Jimmy are going well, they could be a Super Bowl caliber team. They won a Super Bowl. Let's just revisit this. They won a Super Bowl, right? Only Jimmy G missed a butt naked Emmanuel Sanders for a 40-yard touchdown. It wasn't nobody within 15 yards of Emmanuel Sanders. He hits that pass. He hits that open pass. He's a Super Bowl champion. You know what I mean? So and that was what 3 years ago now. And so that team, by and large, hasn't changed much. And we know that team is still competitive, because this is a team that last year took the eventual Super Bowl champions to the wire in the NFC Championship game. So I still think that they are still kind of in that window. And I think the NFC is still down. The AFC is supremely more talented than the NFC right now. So I think in a weaker NFC, the Niners can still make a run. Like, and it's the fashion that they'll do it in. It's still going to be an ugly and a scrappy team, but they were a 10-6 ugly scrappy team last year in the NFC Championship game. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way they may do it. But this is going to be a team, I think, that when the time comes, I think they're going to be competent, and I think they're going to be competitive. And I don't think anybody's going to want to see San Francisco in playoff time when it's win or go home.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Willie Jack, let's keep on moving, man. And that's gonna be a good test for us this upcoming week, man, because we got them on our schedule. But of course, we're gonna hit that at Chop and Willie in the morning. So y'all tune in Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Chop and Willie in the morning. But here we go, man.
That.
The last game, man. We got the Monday night game, man. We had Dallas. They go to New York to take on the Giants in a divisional matchup. Dallas ends up coming away with the W with Cooper Rush behind center, man, winning this game 23-16. Willie, what's up?
Man, y'all know what's going on, man. It's Big Free TP, man. I've been telling y'all for a while now. It's Big Free TP, man. Best running back in the game Monday night was Tony Pollard. I don't care what nobody say, man. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah.
Best running back in that game was Tony Pollard, man. Free TP. But no, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. And I was teasing the group a little bit, but Cooper's Cowboys are a problem. Like, now, mind you, it was the Giants. Nobody expects the Giants. Well, outside of Chop, nobody expects the Giants to make much noise or do too much this year. But yet and still, man, the Cooper Rush to Noah Brown connection is legit. Is that they are just as competent a 1-2 punch as just about anybody. Or let me calm down. They're not Big Josh and Stephon Diggs, but their connection is real, and it shows up in key situations, in key downs and distances, or if Cooper Rush is scrambling or in trouble, he's not looking for CeeDee Lamb. He's looking for 85. He's looking for Noah Brown, and Noah Brown, to his credit, he's making plays when Cooper's calling on him, man. So and it's exciting. It's exciting to see, man. I'm happy for those guys, especially bottom depth chart style guys. Noah Brown's like the fourth guy on that depth chart when everybody's healthy. Cooper Rush he's a backup, but he's not a highly touted one. We don't know, like Cooper Kupp doesn't still have a backup pedigree like like Gardner Minshew even. You know what I'm saying? So he still is a guy who's more or less came out of nowhere, and all the boy do is win. He's got 3 starts, he's got 3 wins, and you know what I mean. So there's nothing else to complain about. The defense, I think this may have been the first game where I don't think Micah had did Michael Parsons have a sack? Okay, that's what I was about to say. I want to make sure. This is his first game this season without having a sack. He did have some pressures, but he didn't actually get a sack in this one. I'll leave the Saquon highlight. It was only like 1 to 2 of them. I'll leave those to Chop Man to get into. But the Cowboys are playing well, man. And honestly, I think I said it to Chop or said it to somebody in the group maybe. I hope these Cowboys keep winning. I want to see the Cowboys go undefeated when Dak is gone, because I want Jerry and Mike to be forced to consider playing Cooper Rush over Dak Prescott. I want that to happen just for the sports world to implode on itself and for Dallas to explode. I'm here in Dallas. I can't imagine how wild the city's gonna be if Dak is back and saying he's healthy, and the team's like, nah, Dak needs another week, and we're gonna go out here with Cooper because we're on a 6-0 win streak. You know what I'm saying? You don't mess with the streak. I don't give a damn who's coming back. If Cowboys are 6-0, they ain't look great when Dak was here now, and then week one against Tampa. Now, mind you, it's Tampa. That's a great defense, but it didn't look great. It looked ugly. Boy, I hope they go 6-0 with Cooper Rush. That's what I want to see happen. But kudos to them. Shout out to Tony Pollard. In fairness, this was probably the best Zeke is looking in a while. He did have more. He was running with more umph and more authority. I do feel like he did run with more purpose. You know what I'm saying? So he did look, I guess, better than definitely I would say he's looked at probably the last 8 games easily. But it's still for me, man. Free TP, man. I think Zeke's legs are done, man. His legs are gone. Free TP, man. Free the real. And man, I'm sorry, Chop. Look at Duke in the building, man. Duke got more names than anybody I know, bro. Rico Felton. If it wasn't for the last name Felton, I wouldn't have spotted him. That's Duke. And he's an Eagles fan, yeah. So ain't too many Feltons that cheer for the Eagles besides Duke. So Duke in the building, man. What's going on, my boy? But yeah, go ahead, Chop. Tell me about your boy.
Gotcha. Well, I wouldn't. First off, I wouldn't go as far as to say Zeke's legs is done. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go that far. You know what I'm saying? I think what they have going right now is working. I think it's perfect for this team. You know what I'm saying? The way that they're using Zeke, the way they're using Tony Pollard, I think it's just perfect for this team. It brings a different element to this particular team, and it's successful. It's working. You know what I'm saying? So stick with it. Do your thing. You know, this is your Deuce McAllister and your Reggie Bush, your Ingram and your Kamara. You know what I'm saying? However you want to lace it up, however you want to, dress it up and put the toppings on it. You know what I'm saying? It's working. You know what I'm saying? So keep doing what you're doing because you're doing your thing. And honestly, I'm surprised, because once Dak went out, man, I thought it was gonna be the Eagles stretching this out. Now, don't get me wrong, the Eagles are undefeated, and you're talking about the Cowboys who are 2-1, but they're well within position right now if they keep this up, to still have a chance to have a shot at this division. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be tough, but y'all gotta keep stringing along games like this. You know what I'm saying? And y'all will be all right. As far as the Giants, man, it was a couple of things that I've seen in this game. One, I do like the fact that Saquon Barkley is back. He looks like the old Saquon, man. And he's back, man. The Dallas Cowboys defense was just different, man. I think they had record-breaking pressures in this game. I think they pressured Daniel Jones about 26 times in this particular game, which was an NFL record, man. He was running for his life every single play. DeMarcus Lawrence had 3 sacks in this game. He was balling out. So that's that. But one thing that I think I've noticed about this Giants offense is that I don't know if I think this is it for Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? It's it. They're moving on from him after this particular year, or at least they should. They should try to figure out something to do, because to me, it showed that who's ever calling the plays, they don't fully trust Daniel Jones to make the right plays down the field. I didn't see one ball thrown down the field. Every ball was short. And if it wasn't thrown to the number one option or the second option on those given plays, he was taking off and running the ball. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to make plays with his legs. You know what I'm saying? As you can see in the 9 rushes that he had, you know what I'm saying, for 79 yards, which was solid, but you can't win a game that way because all his runs came from pressures. It wasn't no design runs. It wasn't like he was Jalen Hurts out there or anything. You know what I'm saying? His runs came from, all right, I'm getting pressure, so I need to figure out a way to get up out of here and get up out of that box. But other than that, in the passing game, they couldn't get much going. You know what I'm saying? After a while, after continuing to run it, Saquon Barkley found a few holes and he opened up some different things. But from what I've seen, I think they're done with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is it for him. So Brian Dable is just going to be tasked with coaching this team up enough to kind of come away with a few different W's, sneak some W's in there like they did the first couple of weeks, man. And the thing that's got them sitting at 2-1 right now, or just go for it in overtime, for 2. Let's go for this dub. Like they're gonna be a team trying to sneak some W's out there for the entire year. And for Dallas, man, they got something cooking with that defense. That defense is legit. They for real. Coming into the season, I didn't think they would be that good, but we're looking at probably a top 5 defense, man. So,
well, you know what? I'm gonna think about that. You still got Green Bay, you still got Tampa Bay, you still got.
You're looking at Green. They playing better defense than Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? Tampa Bay I think is probably playing some defense better, but Cowboys are playing better defense.
Cowboys are playing good. They are. No, they are. Who is it? Is somebody I'm thinking about that? No, I think that's fair.
There's some good defense. There's some good defense out there for sure.
I think that's fair. I just think about it off the top of my head. But we got a couple good comments, man. So going back real quick, man. Kevin Wilkinson, he said, as far as talking about Deke, talking about Zeke, said, seen that kid he was in at Dickey here in St. Louis. Looks old, not much pop, but still great on blitz pickups. And then he flat out leveled a guy in the game Monday night, excuse me. But not, and that's why I shot him out. This is exactly what I've been telling Chop, man. He doesn't have he's lost his burst. Like, he can still be productive, but he's lost his burst. You know what I'm saying? He's lost that second gear. He's a 1 gear plotter now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still have success, operating that way, but he's not dynamic at all anymore. You know what I'm saying? But he's still probably the premier pass protector at the position. Zeke, damn, why keep saying Deke? Zeke, since his rookie year, since he came into the league, has been a phenomenal pass blocker and blitz picker upper. Forgive me, at the running back position. Then a couple comments, man, about Daniel Jones and your take on him. They need to get him some weapons. This is the only thing that bothers me about Daniel Jones as well, because I'm not a huge fan of Daniel Jones. I wasn't a big Daniel Jones guy when he was coming in from Duke. Yeah, I think he came in from Duke. The whole thing about him was his coach at Duke was Eli and Peyton's old coach when they were younger, and he was so comparable to Eli with that stupid look on his face and kind of his overall demeanor type of thing. But this the thing, I'm not a fan of him. I don't think Daboll wants to tack his rookie debut coaching career to the success of Daniel Jones, but it is a hard argument for Daniel Jones. Just like Jarrell said, he doesn't really have weapons. He's got Saquon on the roster, who's been injured for most of the time he's been there. They went out and got Kenny Golladay. That hasn't panned out, hasn't really borne fruit. They went out and they drafted Sterling Shepard, who has never really really took off as a legitimate threat. And I can't even remember the other guy that was there that's not even there anymore. But they haven't really done much as far as the weapons. Oh, Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram was a bust for them. A guy who was an athletic marvel at the tight end position. I remember he was coming in from Ole Miss. He was one of those guys. He's like 6'4", 240, ran like a high 4.4. I think he converted from receiver at Ole Miss, but he just never really got going in all that time there with New York. So he's never really had weapons. Kevin also said that they need to get him a line. Now they're working on that line. So you've got Andrew Thomas. He was my tackle coming in a couple years ago. I always tease Chop about it, man, because he's playing well. But he needs help on that line. Now they did draft Evan Neal from Alabama this year to be the bookend on that other side. So he's a rookie. He's young. He was still a little raw in his technique anyway. But so he's gonna hopefully bookend what they got in Andrew Thomas. Now on the interior, they've moved around some pieces there, so they're still trying to get that solidified. But no, it is a fair argument on behalf of Daniel Jones, though. Like, well, how much has he really had to work with realistically? And I think that's what the ownership was saying when they brought in Dable, because the caveat of whoever got that Giants job was that you're going to be stuck with Daniel Jones. Like, the ownership made that clear from the jump. Daniel Jones is going to start this year, because the ownership came out and admitted, like, man, we haven't given this guy a chance. And so, and like I said, that is still a fair point. But no, I think if you're Daboll, man, you can't wait to get somebody, especially with this year, with this crop of quarterbacks coming in. CJ Stroud that Tom was talking about earlier, Bryce from down in Alabama, Will Levis from Kentucky, the kid down in Florida, Richardson. I think it's a very deep quarterback class this year, the complete opposite of what we had last year. But yeah. Man, and you know what, Chop, man, and I just caught the time. I know we started a little late, and now we probably went a little late. I don't think we talked about the Eagles and Washington game, bro.
We did.
I don't think we did.
Okay, well, go ahead, jump right into it, man.
Well, I was gonna say, I know we eating up the time though. Well, okay, well, short and sweet. Eagles, man, are looking to be looking like the best team in the league this year, or looking like the best team in football after 3 weeks. I'll say that. I think it's fair to jump them over Buffalo. I would have had Buffalo in that spot before this week. Okay, yeah, and then day one game Jarrell in here. Yeah, we have it. Yeah, man. I was looking at the list and I was like, man, did we skip Philly or am I tripping and we didn't say them? But yeah, so Philly, I think is for at least right now heading into week 4. I think it's fair to say that they are the top team in the league right now. Like as far as like a power ranking from a power ranking perspective, the most exciting thing for this game, man, Devontae Smith, welcome to the league, man. Welcome to the league, my boy. We've been waiting to see you. So Devontae Smith, second-year receiver now from Alabama, won the Heisman his last year at Alabama. Boy was 130 pounds soaking wet. And last year, he was looked to be the number one right out the gate last year. He didn't hit the ground running like Jamar Chase did. Jamar Chase came in, he couldn't catch nothing in preseason, but then as soon as the live bullets start firing, you couldn't do nothing with him. Devontae didn't necessarily hit the league and take it over like that, and I think sometimes success by other guys in your class could put some pressure on you as well, because we want to see you show out as well. And so it didn't really go that way, but this is what I expected to see. That's another reason I love that AJ Brown move, because it's going to and this is what I said when it happened. Devontae now gets to be Robin. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to try to be Batman. He doesn't have to try to be a 1A. He doesn't have to be Juju trying to be Antonio Brown. You know what I mean? Now he just gets to be Juju. And Juju on the other side of Antonio Brown got you 1,700 receiving yards or 1,600 receiving yards. That's what AJ Brown now is going to do for Devontae. And this is the first game that where he really took off. I don't know the yard. I want to say he had
169.
There we go. 160. I was going to say 180. Okay, good. So 170 receiving yards. 2 very impressive catches. Went up top on a couple boys. The one down that he went up top and caught. Now that's a questionable decision as far as throwing the ball, Jalen Hurts, because it was 2 guys in close proximity. One guy right there guarding Devontae, and then another guy that came over. It was in the play window at the catch point. You know what I'm saying? So that's a risky throw. Devontae went got that thing though, man. Lands on the 2-yard line. Looked like he was a little banged up. And then football justice. Always hate when a guy makes a great play and doesn't get the touchdown, like gets tackled at the 1 or the 2, and then somebody else gets his touchdown. Get that man his touchdown. And Jalen Hurts came right back to him on the left side. And it was another tough catch though. He went up top over a boy for that one as well, but got the touchdown, man. And so really got to have his introductory to the league. Like, no, I was him when I got here. Y'all have just forgot. But yeah, I was that guy. And you know what I'm saying? So hopefully for him, this is a springboard to carry on into the league or carry on through the rest of this season. AJ Brown got his first touchdown as well as the Eagle. And I think Jarrell had pointed it out on Sunday's show, because I thought AJ Brown got a touchdown week 1 because he went off. He went off week 1. I just assumed he scored, but no, he didn't score a touchdown. So AJ Brown officially gets in the paint. And like I said, man, that he worth his weight in gold in Philly. They couldn't, you know what I'm saying? So, and to get him at market value, I'll never forget Tennessee for letting that boy go like the way they did for nothing in return. But nah, man. So the Eagles are definitely looking great, man. Jalen Hurts wasn't as his legs weren't. I don't think he ran the ball this game, or he didn't run it like crazy or extremely well. And so it was more so, what I'm saying, him airing the ball out downfield. And then on the other side, man, just Washington couldn't get nothing going all day. That defense, man, went crazy. I think they had like 7 sacks or something like that. If I remember.
9 sacks.
Ooh, ooh, boy, that sounds like Cincinnati, don't it? 9 sacks, boy. Hey, that's ugly. So that's what I said. I don't even know how much of that would put on Carson when they almost sacked you 10 times, man. But that Eagles D line really got after it, man, and made plays all day long, made life hell for the football team and Carson Wentz, man. And like Philly did what you're supposed to do, man. Walk in there, put your foot on somebody's neck, and just coast to the victory, man. And so they, like I said, y'all already know where I'm at with the Eagles, man. I already told y'all from the gate they was going to the championship game. So y'all already know, man. Willie told you first, man. Y'all know what's going on.
Hey, Willie Longwind has told you first.
Hey, well, I just try to get it. I just try to wrap them up because we forgot about them. So I was like, man, let's go ahead and bang them out.
Hey, well, you banged it out, Willie Jack. I don't really have anything else to add to this game except for, man, great game for Devontae Smith. Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how that went. But let's get into this Thursday night game, Willie Jack. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Thursdays. Yeah, man. We gotta get a preview, man. We got Miami going to Cincinnati. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump in first, man, and get out your way, man. I'm gonna go Cincinnati in this game. I'm going Cincinnati with the upset as of right now. One, I don't know if Tua is going to play tomorrow, so we're waiting to see what's going to happen with that. And then two, I think Cincinnati is I got a good feeling they're going to ride this momentum that they got going with New York. It's a short week in which I usually don't say this, but a short week I think it's going to work well for Cincinnati this week. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
they
okay.
need to be riding off that momentum that they have. They got their first W this past week against the Jets, and they need to ride off that same momentum. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think that they're gonna be able to pull this off. You know what I'm saying? You still got the weapons. We already know all the weapons. I'm not gonna list all the names, but I think they ride that momentum. You know what I'm saying? They pull off this upset against Miami. I'm still, after everything that we've seen, I'm still not sold. I'm sold on the defense. The defense is playing well. I'm not sold on the offense just yet.
You
I'm
talking about
sold on,
Miami's offense?
yes. I'm not sold on the offense just yet. I'm not sold on them being efficient, you know what I'm saying, and playing consistent football that way. So that's where I'm looking at there. But I got Cincinnati winning this game, man. It's going to be a close one, but I think Cincinnati pulls it off. I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be 27-23 final score.
Ooh. And you know what? I didn't think of it until when you said that you're glad for Cincinnati this is a short week game. That actually makes sense because I think they are a team, just like you said, they've had two very ugly weeks of football. This is a team that really should be 3-0. Realistically, if everything's, just, or at least, on paper, but we play this game in the grass, we know that. But this is a team that realistically has a valid argument that they should be 3-0, just talent wise, and they're not. They're 1-2. You get your first win against a soft touch in the New York anyway. And so for a team that was just struggling to get themselves going, you finally got to win, but now it's finally your first real test. And so I think you're right. I think they do need to get right back into it, get right back in the lab, keep that same hunger, because I don't think, like I said, that New Jersey, that New York Jets victory, that wasn't enough to fill nobody on that team up. So they still hungry. They still need to feel like they need to prove themselves and reestablish, like, no, we a contender. Like, don't lump us in with the rest of these boys. No, we are a contender, and they get a chance to make that statement, especially with the red-hot Miami Dolphins team coming in off of a very impressive win of their own against Big Josh and the Buffalo Bills. I've got more faith, I guess, in that Miami defense, and especially in Cincinnati. I'm not overly impressed with Cincinnati's defense, especially in the secondary. I don't know who's going to stick Tyreek or Jalen. It ain't going to be Eli Apple.
But they playing well, though. They playing well, though. They playing well.
Yeah, but they ain't seen this track team show up just yet. That's the only thing about it. I don't know how they're going to match up with when those guys getting out there, man. And I think that could be to the detriment of the Bengals. That's why I'm going to take Miami in this game, because I think both offenses can be explosive. And so Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, and then you've got Jamar and his bunch on the other side. Joe Burrow is just as capable of scoring 50 points as Miami and the Dolphins are. But the difference is, I think Miami's defense, they'll have an easier time with Cincinnati's offense than the other way around. So I think, let's say if we're going to say the offense is washed, because both of them are talented, both of them can score points, then I'm going to give the edge in defense definitively to Miami. Xavier Howard, I'm curious to see how he does against Jamar Chase, how much they'll let him follow or trail him, or if they just say, hey, guys are going to play where they line up at. So I want to see how they play Chase. Chase really hasn't had a big day or hasn't really done much. I don't know what his yardage was with the Jets, but he hasn't really been much of a factor to this point in the year. So I know he's eager and hungry as well to announce himself and get himself going. And so I just want to see how that plays. Javon Holland, man, safety for Miami, shot him out because he had a good game against Buffalo as well. I liked him a lot coming out of Oregon, but Miami's playing him more of no, I shouldn't say that. They still move him around. I started to say he's playing very well as a combination safety for Miami, man, with the way they're using him in that defense. And so I'm also curious with Joe Burrow being as turnover happy as he has been this early in the season. I think Javon Holland could be a guy that gets his hand on the ball and maybe makes a play that changes the game or solidifies the momentum on one side or the other. But I'm going to take Miami on a short week going to Cincinnati. And I think they're going to have so much confidence and momentum off that Big Josh win that I think, man, 30 on the road and on a short week, that's a tall order. It really is. I don't know about 30. I'll keep your 27, but I'll go 27-21 Miami on the road on a short week. That's where I'll go with that one.
Cool. That's good. I'll go with up. I think that ties up for the week with Jack. That's cool with me. Moving on, man. Now we got one other game we want to preview because we got a London game. That means the game starts at 8:30 a.m. Central Time. You know what I mean? That means we'll be live when that game is going on. So we got to give you a preview for it before you see what's going to happen. So the next preview game, man, we got to go with Minnesota at New Orleans. Willie Jack, who you got in this
one? Man, this is one that it's in London, so no home field advantage. I'm not too confident in either of these teams, honestly, because with the inconsistencies of Kirk Cousins, and New Orleans hasn't done anything but play defense. You know what I'm saying? So that and that's nothing we know as well. Defense travels. So offense may struggle on defense. Good defenses travel, and so I don't have any problem anticipating that New Orleans is going to go to New Orleans defense is going to show up in London and still play and still ball. Just like you mentioned earlier, I am curious to see how Lattimore and Justin Jefferson, how that matchup goes, man. So I'm going to try to get up early, or we'll be live, but I'll be sure to tune in to some of that when I can, because I want to see how that plays out. Man, Dalvin Cook's going to be out. Matheson is capable, but against the stout deep, man, I'm going to take New Orleans. Damn. Man, I don't know, Chop. I want to take New Orleans because of that defense. Kirk Cousins has been a little inconsistent. Lattimore is I think Lattimore is gonna be in Jefferson's pocket. And not to say that Jefferson can't handle the task, but I don't know if Kirk could get him the ball. You know what I mean? And without Dalvin running the ball, man, Matheson is good and he's solid and he's capable, but there's a reason he backs up Dalvin. You know what I mean? So they're gonna lose something there. And if they don't have some, I don't know, man. But at the same time, New Orleans has got to score points. Minnesota's defense has been playing good. They've been playing solid ball, but they're not lights out. It's not a lights out unit. But Wade James in that offense is looking, you don't have to be. Oh man, damn. All right, yeah, go ahead. All right, man. Let me come back to me, man. I gotta come back to me.
So I'm gonna go Minnesota in this game, man. Neither of these offenses I really trust 100%, but I trust Minnesota's offense a little bit more. One, because I think Cousins is a little bit more consistent, on the good side than Winston. And then on top of that, Thomas and Landry both went out with injuries last game, and I don't know if either one of them will be playing this game. So it's only going to be Chris Olave, I believe, that's going to be available for this particular offense. Of course, they still got Kamara, but for some reason they can't get him going as of right now. They still got their defense, but whoever their number 2 corner is, I don't know if he'll be able to handle Thielen. You know what I mean? And then I'm not really about Madison, man. When Madison comes in, he does what he does. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really too much concerned about Madison, coming in with Cook being out. So I'm gonna go Minnesota, man. I thought about going New Orleans too because of the defense and what they could possibly do to Cousins. But I'm going Minnesota. I'm gonna go with that one. I think Justin Jefferson, he ends up having a pretty good day against Marcus Lattimore, man. And that's the route I'm going. And my final score is going to be 24-21.
Man, you made good point. It's one of those things where like my head's telling me Minnesota, but for some reason, bro, my heart's telling me New Orleans. For some reason, I'm gonna take New Orleans, man. I'm gonna go ahead and take New Orleans. In my mind, I think that New Orleans defense is gonna have a really big day. I think they're gonna get after Kirk Cousins, I think, pretty well. I think they're not gonna have a problem with Madison in the passing game, so it's gonna force Kirk to be a little more one-sided. And then with having Lattimore, who I do feel comfortable, if I'm the Saints defense coordinator, I feel comfortable matching up Lattimore against Justin Jefferson. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like Lattimore is that caliber of guy. And so if I'm going to lose that matchup, if Justin Jefferson's going to have a day, he better have a day against my best guy. And so if it's me, I'm putting Lattimore in Justin Jefferson's face wherever he goes. And honestly, man, that D-line, that defense on both on all levels, I really think they have the weapons, man, to really cause some issues for Minnesota offensively, and then without them having maybe Dalvin to break one or do something to ease the tension or ease the pressure, I think that defense can carry the charge. I'm gonna go 2016 New Orleans in an ugly defensive game, and look for the defense in New Orleans, man, to make all the key plays. I think what ends up happening, especially with that score, that's 1 touchdown and 3 field goals. And so I think what's going to happen is New Orleans defense is going to be able to stand up in the scoring moments and force threes instead of touchdowns. And I think that's how they end up pulling this off. I can't tell you how New Orleans is going to score 20 points. Because I don't know. That offense, boy, is scary. Especially if it's only going to be a live A. I ain't even think about that. I don't know where 20 points coming from, but man, I'm just going to go with my gut, man. Something's telling me New Orleans defense is going to make plays in this game, man. Maybe they take one home, man. Maybe one of these comes on defense. Maybe they get something on special teams. I don't know, but it's going to be 2016 run rolling.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how it rolls, man. We'll see how that goes, man. Check us out on Chop Willie in the morning, man. 10 a.m. Willie Jack. That's pretty much all I got. You got something, man?
Man, no, man. Just like Chop said, man. We went super long tonight. We got a little bit of a late start as well, man. So sorry about that, man. Hey, shout out to the membership, man. Y'all know what's going on, man. Appreciate everybody who came through, rocking with your dogs, man. Appreciate everybody that hung through and stayed with us to the end, man. Real quick on the raw call, man. Of course, day one gang Jarrell's in the building. Shout out to my dog, man, holding us down as always. Man, big dog Jeff Walker in the building, man. He came through and hollered at us as well, man. We appreciate the love. Our dog from college, man, Tom Walker came through as well, man. Shout out to you, my boy. Our dog Miles was in the building earlier, man. Duke stopped through. Duke was on the Instagram live earlier. I told him bring his ass to YouTube, man. He finally came over and tapped in with us as well, man. Shout out to Rico Felton, man. Our dog Duke. Hey, Kevin Wilkinson, man. Man, hey, we ain't did it in a little while, Chop, but game ball today, man. Definitely go to Kevin Wilkinson, man. He got in this thing and got real busy, got real active, man. Kept the comments coming, kept them going. So shout out to you, man. I hadn't noticed your name before. I think in the comments you had mentioned St. Louis, so from the crib with Chop. And so, hey, welcome to see you here, man. Appreciate you coming in and getting busy, man. Man, hey, man, the home team was in the building, man. My mom and my sister came through. Appreciate the love as always. Other than that, man, y'all know what's going on. Y'all can say it with me at home. If I forgot to say your name, come on, man. Charge it to my head, man. Don't charge it to my heart. You know we was thinking about you. As always, man, we appreciate the love and support. Tune back in Sunday, man. Sunday, 10 o'clock. Chop Willie in the morning, man. The pregame show. Tap in with your dogs, man. Get what you need, man, before you get ready to enjoy yourself on your Sunday football afternoon. Other than that, hey, until next time, peace.